And we're live.
And we're
Ta-da!
live.
Hello and welcome to day 3 of the Honey and Money, healing your sexual trauma and money blocks once and for all. Let's get to the root of them and clear them so you can experience all the pleasure you desire, the empowerment, the abundance, the prosperity on all levels. I'm your host, Tarek Bliss Bibi, and I'm here with the lovely.
Lisha Antiqua, Dr. Lisha Antiqua, and I am so excited. It's day 3, Tarek.
Yes, we
We
did
did
it.
it. We did it,
Wow.
everybody. We've done it. So
It
you
feels
are
like it
here.
flew, and it feels like it's been a journey, and it feels like so much has happened, but we're here, day 3. I've got something super special for you guys. Stay tuned for that. We'll be closing with a powerful regression. So I'm going to ask your higher selves, what is the number one most important thing, the root of the root of the root of your biggest block that's causing all this mayhem or energy draining or blocks in your money, in your empowerment? And we're going to pinpoint that thing. And it could be in this life, could be in a past life if you're open to that. Um, could be in between lives, could be ancestral. So if it's too dark and scary, your higher self just won't show you what happened. It'll just pinpoint where it is in your energy field. And we are going to clear it. That is my extra special gift to you because I haven't done hypnotherapy in like 17 years.
In like 17 years. I think I've taken some courses of yours that had hypnotherapy in it. I love
Yes,
hypnotherapy. It's one of the
amazing.
my favorite modalities to use
Yeah,
in in treatments.
yes.
And in therapy, I think it's a great therapy, especially if you've
So
had
powerful.
major trauma or you had early childhood trauma that you don't remember,
Yes,
but you have a feeling like, oh, I think this is tied in with
yes.
my sexuality. I think this is. So I just want to review a little bit. So if you're watching the replays, because I know so many of you are, or we have so many people signed up, I want to thank you all for being here. Thank you all for registering. We want to still know what you are getting from module 1, how that's feeling, if you noticed any shifts, what you're getting from this summit. We want to know about you and answer any of your questions. And so feel free to ask here while we're on as well. But day 1, we really went over and just opening up the package of like, what is sex and money trauma? What does it look like? What is infinity healing? Who's Tarek? Who am I? And we just have these conversations about it. We did some infinity healing. Tarek did some infinity healing. I led a soul seeding session for you to get to know the layers that this trauma lives in. So it's not just a one and done deal. Sometimes it is, and sometimes it's not, and why, and how you can work through that to understand you. Day 2 yesterday was all about pleasure. I had Tarek did a release on shame to kick us off so we could step into pleasure. And then I had Kathy on to talk about pleasuring yourself and pleasure and toys and different ways that you can use that, and to talk about the shame that naturally comes up for us, the ooey gooeys, the hypersexuality, the anti-sexuality, and how all of that's really normal when you're healing from sexual abuse. And then I had Ashley come on to share with you all about how it's all connected, and her own money breakthroughs when healing her sexuality and her business breakthroughs, and what that looks like for her, and how it all is connected through emotionality. And we wrapped it up. So I hope you got a lot from that. And then today, Tarek is going to be diving deep into the money aspect, and he has Neil on, and then I have my friend Faith on, who is one of the top realtors in the United States. She has an
Top 10.
incredible top 10.
Claim it.
Yes, she claim it. She's amazing. She is. She has a beautiful book out. She has a lot of wealth to share with you. And this woman can manifest anything, but her story is so inspiring, and she fits right into the mold too. And then Tarek's going to come back and do this amazing healing. So you're not going to want to miss anything. And if you missed any of the replays, go to the Unstoppable Confidence group or one of
Because
our
they
pages.
will expire next Friday. So today, a week from
Friday.
now, midnight.
Yeah. So you have a week. You have a week to go and see them and feel them and experience them and get the love and open to your pleasure and open to more abundance in your life with us.
Yes, thank you. And if anyone, Mark, I see that you're here in the back end where the speakers are. So just please go to Tarek BB on all social media platforms or Dr. Lisha Antiqua on all social media platforms to catch this. The easiest way is to just type in Tarek BB on YouTube. There you go. Thank you. Some people got the speaker link. Beautiful. Just want to say hi to Denise. Good morning, guys. How are you feeling, Denise? Any wins since yesterday? I'm curious to know. I set a lot of intentions for us to be in this miracle vortex of a summit. Denise, any wins that you want to share since yesterday, even though your wins were huge? Tiariana, nice to have you with us. Thanks for the love. Judy Huffman, good morning. Grand Rising.
Good morning.
And Facebook user, hello.
777 portal.
Has
Yeah.
anyone any healing work to do around the 777 portal? Interesting.
Yeah, it's all 777 portal.
Oh shit. 2023, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 7, 7. What? Yes.
Yes.
Our higher selves clearly aligned at Lisha so that we do day 3 on the 7-7 portal. This will be the
Yeah.
day, mark this day in history where inner
Right.
children worldwide get activated.
Yes. This would be my 20. I just had a realization. This would be my 22nd anniversary if I was still married.
22nd anniversary. Wow.
But I am not. I've been divorced 10 years.
So you've been married to yourself for 10 years.
I've been
So we're
married to
celebrating.
myself for 10
Yeah.
years.
We're celebrating your 10-year anniversary with yourself. Yeah.
Good morning, Star. Thank you. Welcome back. So what breakthroughs have you had? What realizations have you had? We want to just do a review first off and hear from you.
Yes, yes, yes. I'll be sharing some poems. I'm going to invite Neil to share his powerful story of sexual abuse, and then also hopefully he can share some poems as well. He just released a poetry album. Super excited.
I want to do a song if we have time today.
Yes,
I
we'll
pulled
make
it
time.
out. I pulled it out on day
Start us
one,
off.
and then I haven't. You want to
Serenade us, mermaid.
Oh my gosh, it's like 2:00 in the morning.
Okay. All right. When you're ready. When you're ready.
Yeah. Mine is a little. Let's see which one I was gonna. Oh, it turns straight to it. I must.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so this is a song that I wrote about the healing journey. I wrote it back in 2000, so it's been around for a minute. Hey, Amanda, and I call it Union, but it's about this healing journey that we went on, and I might just end up like talking it, but it goes, I find I see beside me the dancer swaying dangerously to question that part of me. I visualize the insanity revoked and rebirthing the passageways, remorsing the dignity of serenity is profoundly in front of me, prefecting many obstacles to run from my own reality. The greatness, the security, the freedom of peaceful sanity is only right within me. As I scream for this partnership, I'll only find in myself. Oh, the transition to be all of creation to see. Oh, for all I need is me to be worthy. Part of you I stand to recognize. All you choose is freedom civilized, filling the space to find a compromise, staying this way to please the structured lives, falling asleep too bored being paralyzed. I choose to stand as an example of self-realized. Oh, the transition to be all of creation to see. Oh, for all I need is me to be worthy, to believe in me. And that is one of my songs coming out on my new album.
Wow, Lisha, thank you so much for that serenation. What a great way to start us off. Wow. First time I hear you singing, and that was powerful.
Thank
Denise
you.
says, awesome, Lisha. Love the lyrics. Amazing.
Thank
Yes, can't
you.
wait for the album. Can't wait for it to be recorded. Faith is with us here. If you want to let her know what time. Um,
Yes, yes.
Faith,
I
I
think
don't know
she's
if you
just
noticed, but
listening.
I got your name tattooed on my chest. I'm a huge fan.
She's like,
Thanks
that's
for
right.
being
That's
here.
right, Edit. That's right, Edit. She's probably just
Thanks.
listening. Awesome.
Thanks for being here, Faith. Appreciate you. Okay. So, Judy says, lovely song. Manira is sending love. Star Traveler says, beautiful song. Thank you, Lisha. When is the album coming out?
My producer just had a baby.
Okay.
So we're letting her ease back into it and she'll figure it out, and then it's really divine timing. It's taken this long, why not?
Is she the coach that you connected me with?
Yes.
Oh my
Yeah,
God, she's
Jennifer.
phenomenal. She's
Jennifer
amazing.
Dodge.
Shout out to
Yeah, she is.
Jennifer.
Yeah, she is incredible. She's absolutely phenomenal. Yeah.
Beautiful. Yeah, I did a coaching with her. She taught me how to deliver my poetry a lot better. And thanks to you, thanks to her, when the poetry album comes out in a few weeks, it's going to be blessed with, it's going to be taken up 100 notches because of her wisdom.
I'm
Uh,
so stoked. Yeah, Jennifer Dodge, she's on the same page with us here too. She's a beautiful mission. Yeah, I love her.
yes. Okay. Please, guys, set the intention for today, knowing that your intention that you set will be planted and will come to fruition either during this ceremony in the next 3 hours or after.
Yay, Stacy says, I want more songs. Thank you, Stacy, for listening.
Yeah.
Thank you for being here. All right. So you guys, I'm gonna pop off and hang out with Faith in the back room, and Tarek and Neil. Thank you so much for being here. And
Beautiful.
is it that time?
It
Ooh,
is that
Bonnie
time.
says, thank you guys again for good open-hearted examples of affecting and interesting challenges into wholeness. Yes, Bonnie. Yes.
Mhm.
Fabulous.
Thank you. Thank you. Okay. Um, maybe I'll do a freestyle. Okay.
Yay.
Neil's going to be coming on right now, so I'll just introduce him. Neil is a beautiful soul brother. He has been through a lot of trauma growing up, as many of us on this call have. Um, and he is a fellow Scorpio, Virgo rising. Um, and it's just such a beautiful heart. It's beautiful to see soul brothers who are still like can be in their masculine. And he's launched this platform called Portal to Ascension that has one of the most amount of streamed talks, videos, content about all things under the truth umbrella, which include UFO disclosure, um, ancient history that's been suppressed, um, ancient technologies, all sorts of topics under that umbrella, like ancient Egypt, Atlantis, star, uh, the Galactic Federation, all that kind of stuff. But
I
like,
love it.
yeah, really amazing. So tons of it's like a Netflix for people who want the truth, and it's all on his under his platform, Portal to Ascension. Um, I've been blessed to share some a talk and a healing on his platform, and he's jumped on my podcast before. and amazing brother. We did this song that's one of the bonuses when you purchased our program that me and Lisha launched yesterday. One of the songs there, the bonuses, is called the Divine Masculine song, and Neil did a verse on that, and I did a verse, and and I'm gonna ask him to talk about some of the wisdom he's been. We both went to a tantra retreat, and it was a game changer because it showed us the responsibility of the masculine or being a man, and it really here he is. So it really shifted it as a responsibility. It really became like I'll lead when I'm meeting a woman for the first time, like, hey, I have no intentions. I'm here to hold space. I don't have any agenda. How can I support you? So really creating a safe container became a bigger mission. And another takeaway I got from that was how powerful the masculine energy is. And one of the exercises in that tantra retreat, I don't know if you remember this, Neil, but uh, it was me in the middle, and then a person represented, it's like family constellation, my healer self, and my healer self was in front of me, and my potent masculine self was behind me. And what that showed me was I'm not leading with my masculine force, that penetrative, powerful energy that heals and does all sorts of things. Um, but I was leading with the healer, which is fine, but at the end of that exercise, we merged the healer with the divine masculine
Mm.
um, version of myself into one whole person. So it's not like I'm healing now and then I get to be a man later. It's like I am a man and I'm a healer and I'm all of this. So very
Mm.
powerful stuff. And I'd love to pick his brain at some of the things he learned. So
I
without
can't wait
further
to
ado,
hear.
yes, yes. All right, Neil,
Hey,
welcome to the
hey guys.
summit. Appreciate you being here.
Yeah, thanks for having
Thank
me,
you,
guys.
Neil.
Nice to see you, brother Tarek. Nice to meet you, Lisha.
Nice to meet you too. I'm gonna pop off and let you guys just relax. I'm gonna
Yeah,
relax and let you
yeah.
guys just
Let's
take
let
me
you
on a
relax.
journey.
Yes.
Take me on a journey.
Exactly. Yeah, yeah,
I
anytime,
don't know
Lisha.
how
Do you need help?
you
I'll do it.
you
I
have.
got you. I got you, Lisha. I was hoping you'd rock the same shirt. Me and Neil have the same shirt. We would have been
Oh, that's so
twinsies.
funny. Yeah, it's in the wash
Palladian,
though.
Palladian brother. Good to see you. Please let our audience know a little bit about you, a little intro. For those who don't know, I did a little heart-centered intro about you in my own way. But if you want to share your story, and
Hmm.
I mentioned that you have some poetry out. Would love it if you could share some, if that feels right. Would love
Yeah.
it if you could share some of the insights from the Tantra work that you've been doing as well, and whatever else you got
Mhm.
planned.
Okay, so hello to everybody. My name is Neil Gore. I am the founder of an organization called Portal to Ascension. And just to kind of start from now and kind of go back a little bit, the organization, we are a conscious event production company, meaning we do over at this point around 110 productions a year, conferences, tours, retreats. Everything from the fact that we're taking two groups of people to Egypt in September to around 80% of our events being online events on workshops on everything and anything consciousness, which includes ancient histories and the universal big question of are we alone in the universe, and is the evidence to suggest that we're not alone? So we go deep into these topics. I doing started Portal Ascension in 2008, but the way it came about was in 2001. I woke up to a lot of information that I'm kind of exploring now and doing events on. And this was from the search of what is the root of all religion. That's what I wanted to know. I was raised Hindu. So one thing that I really found as a benefit being raised Hindu was, unlike many other faiths, I was never told that my faith is the only way. So because of that, I had an openness to so many different cultures. And I celebrated Christmas. We watched Moses movies during the year, So I already felt that there were many other avatars and spiritual traditions that were legit. Plus, from a little bit of research, the Indian scriptures actually talks about a bunch of different religions and cultures existing that are different from each other because we're different people and we need to be approached differently. So due to that, I was seeing all these similarities in different cultures, right? That the Hindu scriptures and Krishna, so much similarities to Christ. Even the name Krishna, Christ, that isn't just a coincidence. There is a reason why the name sounds so similar. And as I was seeing this, my question was, why are we all talking about what makes us different when there's so many similarities, so many stories that are the same or different versions of the same story? Why don't we talk about what the connections are? So that started my search in 2001 for the root of all religion. And as I did that, one of the first things I stumbled across was the Sumerian scriptures, the Sumerian tablets of creation. And the first story that I came across was the Epic of Gilgamesh. The Epic of Gilgamesh is the story of Noah, the flood story. But this story was written thousands of years before Noah. And it was actually a bigger story that Gilgamesh, as he was traveling the flood-ridden world, stumbled across Noah, and Noah gave him his story. So this kind of just like made me realize that, wow, if we go further and further back, we can find a root to it all. So that exploration continued for a good 8 years, piecing together little information I was finding everywhere, looking into ancient scriptures, which took me into a deeper understanding of the cosmos. Is there life out there? Did we come from this life? Are some of these gods that we speak about and angels actually higher sentient conscious beings that came from other dimensions, right? And in 2006, just to like wrap up that story real quick, 2006, I created an online group called 2012 Consciousness, Mind Evolution, and Presence. I created this group because I was into the whole 2012 Ascension thing, and I wanted to see if there was other people that had information to share with me. Over 2 years, from 2006 to 2008, this group morphed into different names until eventually I had a dream in 2008, which was to change the name to Portal to Ascension. In 2008, Portal to Ascension was born, started with one event, and just been picking up momentum ever since. Now it's 15 years later, and we're a really large consciousness company working with thousands of different speakers all the time, creating multiple productions. And our goal, our intention, is to provide nonstop awareness from every aspect possible, from ancient history to self-empowerment, to sound frequency, to extraterrestrial awareness, in order to help humanity reach the eventual goal, which is the upliftment of humanity to a higher octave of existence. That's it. Tarek, do you want me to go right into the Tantra work, or do you want to jump in here? So I'll just keep going into the Tantra work. I think there he is.
Hey, brother, thank you for that intro. Yeah, I was just going to let you take it away. The topic, obviously, for the 3 days that we're in now, the container we're in now, is dedicated to all those who have experienced sexual trauma. So we're really wanting to, a lot of speakers have shared their own stories. So if you're comfortable sharing any of that, but also tools. I know you've done a lot of work and transformed in such a fast, like just Valeria, if you can watch this on YouTube, you're hearing the back end of the speakers. Anything you want to share from Tantra? Any poetry you'd like to share?
Yeah. Okay, I got lots to share. So how much time do I have so I can calculate this correctly?
I feel we can definitely go for at least 35 minutes. So how about I come in? Lisha, thumbs up on that? Yes, at least 35 minutes. Go for it, brother.
Thank you, man.
I'm here for you if you need anything.
Right. Love you, brother.
Love you too, man.
So what I want to speak about now is the journey that ties into the topic of here, and how the reason why I even started Portal to Ascension was a subconscious intention to heal from sexual trauma. So just to kind of go back deeper into what occurred to me as a child, right? And just to be completely raw here, when I was like age 1 to maybe like 7, I was actually molested by my father's sister. Okay. And this experience tainted my whole experience of life, my relationships, my interaction with my family. I would act out in certain ways, with my family, around my family, and I would be caught for certain things. That was all a product of what had happened to me during those early years. And so not only did I have that trauma from the actual experience, but then the trauma continued, because afterwards I was just looked at as the person that was to blame, and I was looked at as the perpetrator of trauma to my own family by not falling in line, not being the ideal Indian child, because being raised in an Indian family, not only was it very strict and they only expected like the best from me, which I kept falling short of, but there's a lot of taboos around sexuality in general. And as a child, when these things happen to you, like you can look in the psychology of it all, you get confused because, as a child, it might feel good, right? having these experiences, but you also know that something is wrong, and then you're told to hide it, and not being able to express it to people, or even share it with your family, actually inhibits you later in life. So I had some hardcore anxiety and depression issues around most of my life, really. I've only really started working through a lot of it around 8 months ago, and we'll speak about the tantra work. And actually, the tantra practitioner just left my house right now. She's been here. We've been doing some work here as well. And so not only like I've been on this search, really trying to figure out how to heal from it. So when I started looking at the root of all religion and looking into like these topics and ancient history, I immediately found, right, going back to the Sumerian scriptures, I immediately found that they were talking about some advanced quantum physics, vibration and frequency. There was depictions of snakes and things that looked like wormholes, and a scaled down version of our solar system on this stone tablet from like 6,000 BCE, with all the planets in the perfect position that we already know that they are. How did these beings know about this stuff? How did these ancient people know where the planets were? How did they know about quantum physics and vibration, right? These are the questions I had. And then when I realized that a depiction of snakes in the ancient texts were also a metaphor for advanced quantum frequency, quantum energy, and an understanding of some subatomic sciences, right? Like a picture of a snake with a wormhole coming out of it, with a human coming on the other side and a DNA strand. What does this mean, right? That brought me back to the faith that I was raised in, which is Hinduism. Not that I went and became a Hindu again, because I was raised Hindu, but truly I'm no religion. But I went back to it and I started seeing, wow, wait a second. This ancient tradition of Hinduism isn't a religion. It comes from Vedic sciences. It's a way of life. Dharma is what they called it. It was not Hindu Dharma. It was Sindhu. Sindhu was the original way. The Persians changed it to Hindu. Sindhu Dharma. Laws of the universe. Ways of living. Maybe yoga, Ayurveda, meditation is actually an acoustic organic version of a quantum frequency technology, because what you're doing in essence, we've all heard raise the vibration, raise the frequency. What we're doing is we're shifting our frequency of our body to another octave of reality so that we can heal from trauma, not only just heal from trauma, but connect to higher realms of existence, connect to these beings, as they were talking about in the Sumerian scriptures, as we see in Egypt with the chambers there and the frequency chambers and the sound. We were seeing that they were actually utilizing technology, frequency technology, to communicate with the gods, right? So that's one aspect, communication with the gods. Another aspect is what I just shared, which is healing from trauma. So I was realizing at the same point. So ancient history was one thing that came to me immediately in 2001. And then quantum energy. So quantum physics at the same time as ancient history came with me. And then the fact that a lot of these beings from the stars could have actually been extraterrestrial life. So at the same time, I was really blessed to have all three of those cylinders, which is what Portal Ascension really represents, happening at the same time. Advanced quantum physics, ancient history, UFOs, extraterrestrials, and I just started moving forward with that. And I was aware that, I wanted to embody these tools, and I started getting the spirituality 2002, 2003, after I'd been in ancient history, because I was realizing that, whoa, oneness, we're all connected. And through quantum reality, for example, entanglement, non-locality, the double slit experiment, I'm not going to go deep into any of those. I'll just go deep into one of them, I guess. We're realizing that we're all one and we're all interconnected. So if we're all one, why are we all focusing on the fact that we're so separate from each other? Maybe there is some sort of mathematical, scientific way to prove our interconnectedness, right? So this is the journey that I began on. And just to go back to the quantum physics, non-locality. So non-locality, right, basically is the essence of what is now becoming quantum computing. And this means that the subatomic particle in this piece of Palo Santo right here, and the subatomic particle in your own body has the data of all of creation within it. The whole universe is in those subatomic particles. Okay, what does that mean? That means that there is some sort of energetic field that we're all a part of, and the Akashic records, as they speak about, is not separate from us, but the Akasha is accessible through every subatomic particle, so much so that you can extract the data of all creation, all incarnations, all of the universe out of one single point. And how this connects to quantum computing is tasks that used to take maybe 10 years, 100 years to do, we're able to do instantaneously, because now they can actually tap into the quantum field, quantum computing, and pull the data out instantaneously. And this is also connected to space travel, bending space-time, moving from one place to another place within an instant, rather than having to travel 100 years. So I'm giving you a lot of backstory here because I really want to get into how I figured out that it's all about healing. So I started doing all this healing stuff, attending Kundalini yoga events, becoming a oneness blesser, which is a modality out of India, and really just focusing on the fact that we're all interconnected. At the same time, completely riddled with trauma, completely ridiculed, completely embodying a lot of reactive energy, and not really confronting all of the issues that had come up for me in my life. This was more of an educational part of my life where I was learning information about ancient history. I was learning about spirituality, and I was looking for modalities that would help me feel good rather than focusing on the darkness that was within me that had been ingrained in me that I didn't have the tools to look for, and a lot of people to even confront. A lot of people talk about this phase in life, which is the phase of everything's love and light, avoiding the darkness. Let me just focus on doing things that make me feel good. But even when I was doing the things that make me feel good, it truly wasn't making me feel good. I was kind of faking it in many ways. And I would reflect to myself and be like, like, I don't feel good. I feel a lot of anxiety. I feel a lot of depression, but I wasn't confronting it. I was putting it to the side. So now fast forward, 2008, Portal to Ascension starts. Now we're doing events, sound healing events, empowerment events, workshops, working with, at that point, maybe 100 different people I'd been working with and facilitating workshops for these individuals, still working on myself and searching the world, traveling the world, looking for modalities that would help me release trauma. Many of these modalities that I found, that assisted me a little bit, but nothing really confronted it to the point that I needed it to, was body kind of therapy, right? Like structural reintegration therapy and Rolfing. Rolfing helped me a lot. So I was doing things emotionally, energetically. Reiki sessions never helped me release any of my trauma. Therapy could never really do it, right? None of those things were assisting me. And some body therapy would help me, trigger point therapy, Rolfing, where they would help release the fascia, and I could feel the trauma releasing from my body. But the trauma would come back, right? So now we're going, like, I'll give you the timeline of my life here. So now we're going to jump to 2016. So this is my first plant medicine experience. Okay, so I'm in the jungles of Peru doing ayahuasca, and as I'm doing this, first few ceremonies, I didn't see anything, nothing happened, and then all of a sudden, during one of the ceremonies, I realized that I saw 7 generations, right? And at this point, I did not know about the whole 7-generation healing aspect and how ayahuasca and many other things are about 7 generations of healing, past and forward. But I saw 7 generations of sexual molestation trauma to the male lineage in my family, all the way to 1400 AD, right? 1400 CE. And later on, when I did research, I realized that the Mughal invasion of India, the Islamic invasion, there's been a few, but the really major one where there was a takeover of India and a taboo put on sexual energy, and a lot of the Tantra temples were destroyed, was actually in that same century, 1400. And that goes back 7 generations for me. So ever since the Islamic invasion on that level in India, when there was a collective traumatization of the Indian sexual energy and the liberation that they had within that, my male lineage have all been a victim, if you will, to sexual molestation. And I saw all of them. And what I got in my head in that point, in my mind's eye, was that I am here to break the cycle of 7 generations of the past so that this trauma doesn't go further into the future. And as that came, another thing came with that I knew, maybe I knew on some subconscious level, but I did not know this consciously. And it was that I was supposed to, that I started Portal to Ascension to figure out my subconscious mind, my deep underlying soul started Portal to Ascension even though it was based on curiosity, ancient history, who are we, all this stuff, to heal from sexual trauma. So at that point, 2016, I had done like 2,000, 3,000 events. All of them were live in person because 2016 was when I started doing the online events. I've just done in-person events for the most part before then. And I saw that the reason why I even started this, the reason why I was even curious, the reason why I looked at the Sumerian scriptures was to eventually look for modalities on how I could heal from the trauma that happened to me. And as I realized that in 2016, that's when the floodgates of information came out in Portal to Ascension, the milestone of everything we were creating. When I realized that I'm looking for every sense of a modality, everything that could assist anybody from healing, not from just sexual trauma, but from healing from everything, including information and education. What does 2 days of learning 100,000 years of Indian history at Portal to Ascension have to do? Well, it's re-educating you to the antiquity, the grandness, the grandeur, the beauty, the incredible nature of who we are as humans and what we've accomplished in the past, right? So all of this information was coming out, and 2016 was, as I said, a milestone in the evolution of what I was creating. However, I was not healed, and healed is a word that I do not really use the same way I used to use it before, because I used to think, and maybe a lot of you can relate, I used to think that when will I be healed? Okay. And healing was a destination for me. And now it's a journey. It's a lifelong journey. And it doesn't mean that you're always a victim to your traumas. It doesn't mean that, that certain parts of you won't be brought to harmony or have some healing, that you can live a fruitful, abundant life. But instead of looking at healing as a destination and somewhere that I'm never at, because we're our own biggest critic. We're always looking for like the future. What will I be? Maybe not all of us, but I definitely have been. And looking for like that eventual goal. When will I feel good? When will I feel good? But when I let go of that and started realizing that it's a journey and it comes back in layers and there's deeper and deeper levels, then I started having a different relationship with healing. And just to speak about healing for a second, the healing element doesn't just go with this life. We've had many incarnations, and a lot of times the experiences that happen in this life are connected to those incarnations. And from my research over the last 2 years, I kind of feel that Earth is a galactic processing center for trauma. That we're not just processing our trauma, we're processing the galaxy's trauma. Earth is the perfect place created. We have the perfect bodies to experience, express, have the full range of emotions, and release and transmute the trauma of the galaxy, much of which we were actually a part of because we've been incarnated in many places and created, but not everything is directly connected to us. So how are we able to process trauma, release the trauma without getting attached to the experience and falling into depression and anxiety? Because this world is kind of created in a way that it's almost like you're being re-traumatized all the time, right? From governments to family issues to a conversation on the phone to a relationship not working out. So what level can you be at within yourself? What level of trust can you be at within yourself and self-love to allow for these to come up, experience it fully, not just ignoring the darkness, but knowing that those emotions, those frequencies are all a part of this experience, and still find a way to empower yourself in it? These are some of the questions I was having. So I continued down this journey of looking for modalities and healing. Portal to Ascension in 2016, many times in my life, I have thought about, I have quit Portal to Ascension. Not many times, like 5 times. It's a pretty good amount of times within 13 years. And the reason why I quit was because it's hard work. Traveling the world, 100%. You got to rely on yourself for 100% of your income. Okay? You can't drop the ball. You can't go a month without even making money off the events that you create, because how are you going to eat? How are you going to have a place? And I've been there so many times before, and it wasn't working out quite a few times. So I just said, screw this. I'm done going back to the mainstream, going to get a job and doing this, that, whatever. So 2016, this was one of the experiences. The same year that I had this ayahuasca journey and this reflection of my life. And when I quit Portal to Ascension, that's the last time I ever quit. All of a sudden, somebody came up to me. One of my friends said to me, hey man, have you ever considered just doing everything online? And I was like, I don't know, because when you do a live event, you got to drive to the event, you got to pay for gas for the event, you got to pay for the venue, you got to find local marketers, you got to get connected to the local community, you need to have fly out your speakers, you need to put them up in a hotel, you got to serve people food. Oh my God, it's so much work. What happens if you do an online webinar? 99% of that you don't even have to deal with anymore. And I was like, all right, yeah, maybe I'll just get a regular job somewhere and I'll just try to do it online. So I did that. And the first event did so well, I immediately quit my job again. And I haven't done anything but Portal to Ascension since then because it did so well. And now we've created this online platform. So the reason why I'm telling you this is that is when I became even more fine-tuned with the events we created. I started realizing that what Portal to Ascension is a reflection of the information that I find, definitely can help others, but a lot of times can help me, and my curiosity takes me down so many different pathways. So I started getting more and more and more information, right? And learning from it and expanding from it. Okay. So that's kind of the journey of my trauma. So now I want to get into the healing aspect of it all and what actually happened in my life in the last year that really contributed to this healing. So I've always wanted to attend some sort of tantric event, some sort of sexual trauma healing event, and I've done somatic healing that released a lot, but I really needed to shift my mind and my consciousness because I was not at a good place. A year and a half ago, I got divorced. I was with my ex-wife for a year and a half. I'm sorry, 10 years. A year and a half ago, we divorced. And within that, we had a great time together, but we had a lot of traumas come up as well. And a lot of shame came up with that as well. So even though maybe I felt kind of maybe even better before we got in that relationship, it was really that I wasn't looking and reflecting at things in my life that the relationship brought up. Because, as my friend Dr. Dream used to say, everybody thinks they healed until they get into a relationship. Because that's when the deep stuff comes up, right? And not to go too much of a tangent, but our relationship with our partner is a reflection of our relationship with our parents in a lot of ways. And if things aren't healed with them, it can reflect into that, not having a dad, having a mother that raised you only. So expecting your woman to be your the masculine and the feminine for you, giving up your masculine energy to that, just one of many different ways that this can reflect. So we got out of the relationship a year and a half ago. First couple months, moved down to Mexico, Playa del Carmen, connected with Tarek there, finally got to see him in person for the first time. Was doing really well, actually, but not really having the opportunity to reflect on myself. 2 to 3 months after that separation, I kind of crashed a bit and was really going through a lot of loneliness issues. Like, who am I without my relationship? I'm lonely. I don't like the way I look. Will anybody ever be with me again? I've been in this relationship for 10 years, right? And before those 10 years, I had 2 girlfriends, okay? So, and I'd never, haven't asked a girl out, properly, actually, what you would conventionally think of asking out ever, right? So I was really going through, will I ever be loved again kind of energy. So I would be researching and looking for types of events. I went to 3 yoga retreats back to back. I went to a bunch of different retreats. And as I was going to these retreats, none of them were really addressing the situation. What I was attempting to do was to connect with people. I was looking for a connection. I was looking for something that should feel good. I was doing yoga. I was doing an Ayurvedic retreat, attempting to work on the physical body and the external reality, ingesting things, connecting with others externally, and then doing yoga for my body. Maybe this will make me feel better. Maybe this will make me feel better. All the while, I was still researching Tantra retreats, but I couldn't find any that was working with my schedule. There was one organization that was actually everywhere I was going, but they did their retreats were either 1 week before or 1 week after I was going to be there for a whole freaking year. How crazy synchronistic that is? Well, not that I went to it, but they were everywhere I was traveling. I was traveling everywhere, but I was missing them by a multiple days, and that's very unlikely. So now we're getting to 8 months ago. and we're getting into the actual work now, the masculine feminine polarity work and what that means, what it means to be the masculine energy, what it means to feminine energy, as my perspective, as what I've been learning. And so I don't even know, like 8 months ago, something like that, Tariq is coming back to Playa del Carmen, and I just got back there a few days before, and I'm really excited to see him because we had known each other for a year online. Really great friendship, really great connection, so many similarities, both rappers, so it was just like one of the homies, like really felt connection to Tariq. And then we got to meet for that one day, and that half a day that we spent together was freaking amazing. Great, like such great love and connection. And now he's coming back to Playa del Carmen, moving back down there. I just moved down there. So I said to him, yo, bro, I got a car. I'll come pick you up from the airport because I really want to spend time with you. So, I was driving from Akumal to the airport. And when he said, okay, yeah, I'll hang out, but I only can hang out for like, I think it was like a day or two because I'm going to this Tantra retreat. And I'm like, what? And he says, yes, let me see if they have any space. So they did have space, and I had a call with the Tantrika Isabel, who, as I said, she's here right now. And we did, so she took me in, they made some space for me, and I went to the retreat with Tariq. So this was really amazing. Okay, so first of all, the retreat to me wasn't that amazing. Even though it was a great retreat, we did some great work, but my insecurities came to the surface. My emotional issues came to the surface. My insecurities came to the surface. My anxiety came to the surface. So it was great because everything came out to the surface, but I felt very insecure there, right? Just to give you an example of one situation, right? And these things I haven't told anybody. It's kind of like, I mean, it's not really weird. I'll just tell you anyway, like what's going on, because we all have weird things going on in our brain. The first night, the temple night, where we were doing some work, when we were doing some work, we, with each other, at the end of the night, like we fall into each other's arm and it becomes like a huge cuddle experience, right? And I didn't know how to go from that interaction, that work, to that compassion, that cuddle. And I was just there in the freaking corner, like in a ball, like trying not to cry and look embarrassed because I didn't know how to transition into an intimate, cuddling kind of compassionate experience after doing deep work because I felt so insecure in myself. So that kind of experience reflected to me over and over. That was the first day. As we were there, it was, first of all, it was incredible to be there with Tariq because like our friendship and bond, I really wanted to work on our friendship. I felt like Tariq and I were going to be really solid brothers, which we are now. And so it was great that we were doing this to work together, right? And we had this whole idea of creating a divine masculine track together, which I'm going to go finish my verse of next week, a rap song. And so how amazing would it be that we would go to this retreat and really learn about this stuff, information, and experience it, and then record the music as well. So as we're there, we're doing all types of practices. And as I shared, so many different things will come to the surface. When the event was over, a lot of people were on a high from the experience. And even though I had a great opportunity to do some really hardcore work, like the rage rituals and understanding what polarity was, the divine polarity, what the feminine and masculine energy embodies, which I'll speak about in a second here. I started learning that work. My insecurities were so hardcore on the surface, I just kind of wanted to leave and go home and just be in my own privacy. Because I didn't feel like I got what I wanted out of it, which is what I was looking for, which is deep connection. But I was looking for coming to these events to connect with others, to get the external validation that I'm worthy and that I'm able to connect and communicate. Where was I going wrong? If there is a wrong. Well, the reason why I was going there was to connect with myself, but that's not what I thought I was going there for. I was going there looking for some external validation that I'm worthy of being connected with. So as I left and I felt I didn't get that, I felt very insecure and off from it. However, the practitioner, Isabel, was so incredible that I decided that I wanted to do one-on-one sessions with her. So that's when the real work began. And like, I don't know, like 7 months ago now. So she was in Tulum, I was in Playa del Carmen. She'd be coming over twice a week. We'd do 2 to 3 hours a week of deep tantric work, of breath work, rituals, temple night experiences. So before I go deeper, I just want to kind of clear the energy around what Tantra is, because from my own perspective, and of course, there's so much more. First of all, Tantra is more of a philosophy and a science, and there's many different types of Tantra. The Mahadevis, which are multiple gods, which are incarnations of Durga, all have their own field of Tantra. There's Kali Tantra, and all the other Mahadevis, I forget all the names right now, you can look them up, have their own fields. There's left fold Tantra, there's right fold Tantra. Left fold Tantra are more intense, hardcore ones, like the naked sadhus that come down from the Himalayas and do these crazy, sensational kind of rituals to really feel and embody what they are. And then there is the right fold, which is more of like the meditative one, which doesn't really get into the sexual energy and sexual traumas. And that is within every field of Tantra. So it's so compartmentalized. How Tantra came about. So it's interesting to realize that Tantra these days is almost connected to just general New Age and spirituality and yoga and all that stuff. And even though Tantra is a form of yoga, it's its own answer to what was happening in the ancient times. So in the ancient times, my parents' family's from India. Our caste was Brahmin. Brahmin were the priests and the kings. The Brahmin caste were the only ones that had the time and the money to focus on spirituality. And they were the ones that really harnessed the energy of moksha. So moksha is the art of liberation, but it's also the art of transcending the physical world in order to getting into the enlightened state and moving into this other reality and being at that reality. Tantra was an answer to that. The common people, the landowners, the farmers, the workers, the blacksmiths, they didn't have the time and energy, or they didn't have the time or the money to live an ascetic lifestyle, escaping from the physicality to go to another level of consciousness. Their answer was Tantra. So Tantra, to super oversimplify it, is basically the art of experiencing the sensations of life and existence in a non-attached way, feeling life, feeling existence, coming up with having the pleasure of just living and eating and all the stuff that comes with it, and through that liberating yourself. The end goal is still the same, but through going into the physical, you liberate yourself. Now, this is how it connects to sexuality, and this is why a lot of people think Tantra has to do with sex, which isn't the case at all. Because it's about feeling the body, feeling the energy of who you are, experiencing pleasure, which could go from anything from eating a strawberry to having sex. In the Western world, since you're working with a lot of sexual trauma within Tantra, and sex is also a form of pleasure, a lot of people have associated Tantra just to some sexual pleasure experience. And a lot of people have used the word Tantra for pleasure parties and for experiences like that. No judgment against the way they do it. But so that is why, the distortion has occurred within that work. So what Tantra really, some of what Tantra is, because I can't even do a blanket statement, say what it is doing the inner work to release trauma by feeling the sensations and feeling what it means to be human. And those are the kind of experiences that we did at the retreat and that I continued to do afterwards with Isabel. So when I was learning all this information from the retreat and afterwards, now I want to get into the divine polarity, some of the lessons I was learning and how it reflected and connected to my life. So let's say my relationship with my ex-wife. Sometimes I would do things to trigger her. Sometimes she would get triggered on her own from things that maybe weren't worthy, I would think weren't worthy of being triggered. Sometimes I did something that really triggered her. And then what would occur is if I would say something in retaliation to that, I would create a less of a sense of safety within her, that she would get even more triggered and get to a point where it would be a nonsensical communication. And because of my lack of presence, because of her, the way she was with me, I would retreat and move away from the experience rather than dive into it and allow for that energy to come to me. So what does that mean? In a lot of these experiences we had at the Tantra retreat, and I did 2 other Tantra retreats afterwards, one-on-one experiences with Isabel. One time we went to the jungle for a whole week and did 6 hours of tantric work a day. And then we just spent a few days in Hamburg in Germany together doing some more work. And as I was doing this, even one of the experiences at the actual Kali retreat that we did, Tarek and I did together, I realized that some of the masculine traits are the following. Okay, I would say this is kind of my own explanation of it, and I'll explain what each one is: the mountain, the sacred container, the alchemizer, presence. 4 divine masculine traits, not associated just to the men, because all people would love to have some element of that, especially presence. And what I was realizing is that my lack of being able to have those and falling into my feminine wounds allowed for the rage and the experiences within my own personal relationship to get to a point that we couldn't see each other or be present for each other. So what is the mountain? And I'll give you one of the experiences that we had in the Kali retreat that connects to the alchemizer, right? The alchemizer, side note, because I love ancient history, alchemy comes from the word kemet, which is the original word of Egypt, where they were using alchemy and tantric rituals and actually alchemizing things from other metals into gold, just to give you a kind of history of what alchemy is. So so there was the rage ritual, which is a really traditional tantra exercise. And in this ritual, all the men are lined up, laying on sitting on the ground, right, against the wall, and the women are encouraged to allow for all of their rage, of all their pains, all their wounds, all the wounds from the masculine, whether they had been in a relationship, whether the patriarchy had got them down, whether there was the energy towards just men, or the lack of not even having a father, whatever the rage towards the masculine energy was in their life, they were encouraged to completely release it onto the men. Okay, screaming, shouting, and then Isabel is egging them on to go even hardcore. You can do it, get it all out, get it all out. And we are there on the ground, straight face, 100% presence, looking at her, allowing for her to experience that energy in a sacred, safe container. One thing, one out of many things. It was easier to do because I knew I had no emotional connection to this person, that I wasn't the cause of it. So it created a space where I could just be and allow for that to come, right? The mountain. Okay, so the mountain part was connected to alchemy. The man's role, the masculine role, is that when the rage of the world hits at a high, when the anxiety of the world hits at a high, when the fear in the world hits a high, do you retreat and fall into your feminine wound? Do you retreat away from it? Or do you lean in and allow yourself to be the mountain? And by allowing yourself to be the mountain, you stay firm in your truth because you have integrity with who you are. You trust who you are. So much so that this energy goes through your body and alchemizes into pure love. That's all of the things connected there: presence, mountain, and alchemy. And so what happened at the end was a kind of an alchemization. The rage was coming out. We were the mountains. We just took it, right? And then at the end, after like expressing, crying, shouting, the woman is just exhausted, and she just collapses on the chest of the man because literally tired. It's not like even staged at that point. It's just like exhausted from all that energy. It's like 20 minutes plus of this, right? And then just tears rolling down her face. And as the man, we're holding the woman, looking into her eyes, seeing the pain of the world. And then we just like held each other for like, I don't even know how long it was. Excuse me. So that was just one experience, and that really helped me realize the divine polarity. And again, I'm not talking about woman and female, even though the divine polarity is definitely by default in the women more and by default in the men more, but we both have both elements. And to switch back and forth is this ascension we're going into. We're going into a balancing of our binaural frequencies in our brain so that we can be living at both and be able to fluctuate through both whenever we need. Okay. So as we become the alchemy, as we become the alchemizer, and we're the mountain, we are we are able to transmute into love. And that experience at the end was a transmutation of love, released it all. And you were still present for it all. Because many of these women in this experience, from, well, especially the partner I was teamed up with and what she was saying, hadn't had that experience where the man stayed present through the pain. Okay. So that really helped me out. Now, the other thing was the sacred container. So now you have the Shakti energy, right? Which is the Shakti force energy is also part of Tantra. Shiva Shakti, the feminine and masculine. Shiva being the masculine, Shakti being the feminine energy. We did a few exercises, and I continue doing these exercises through all these tantric experiences I had afterwards, where the masculine energy is the sacred container. The feminine energy is the wild Shakti, the eternal dance, the Shiva Shakti, the dance that the Shiva and the Shakti does together with Shiva is the container for the Shakti to run wild. Okay. Now, going into the polarity aspect of it all, when it comes to women are emotional beings. They're very hormonal beings. A lot of times energy comes up. A lot of times things are expressed. And all they want is presence. No answer, no anything like that, but presence. And if you are able to provide that presence, it allows the Shakti to run wild, right, within her. However, this world, unfortunately, has been at a place where it's kind of unsafe for the Shakti to run wild. Talking about the energy here. And so having the divine polarity come together as the marriage of the Shiva Shakti, the Shiva then becomes the sacred container for the Shakti to run wild. The safety for the Shakti to be present. The paradox. How do you create a container for wildness? That's the universal paradox. It is and it isn't. How do we live in the middle ground? How can the Shakti be wild and express itself fully and allow the emotions to come through, process the traumas of the universe, allow birth to come through her, but also be in a container of safety by the divine masculine? Which is also like the universe is technically the masculine energy, the earth is the feminine energy. So this transcends male, female humans, right? But we are reflections of we are the micro of the macrocosm of the universe. So this is how we can play it out. So being the sacred container was something that really, really inspired me and just made me realize that when I get into a partnership, I want to be the safety of the sacred container. We had another experience where we went around and we asked all the women, what did they want? 2 different times, right? And the answer from all the men about what women want and all the women of what they want from men, the first one was presence. And all these things, the mountain, the sacred container, the alchemizer, allows you to get to a point of presence. So much so that it creates safety. There we go, the 2 answers. The presence creates safety. So that was the work that I've been doing. That is the work I've been doing. And as this has happened, I have now shifted. Now let's get into the results of all this, right? I am more confident in myself than ever. I feel a sense of peace. I don't feel as lonely as I did before. You know, I travel the world full time by myself, and I do feel lonely at times. And I realize that it's not about feeling one way all the time. It's not about being confident all the time. It's not about feeling not lonely all the time. It's not about feeling connected all the time, but it's about having the genuine curiosity of the times you're not there. When you're not at that point, are you at judging yourself, anxious about yourself, depressed about yourself, hating yourself, talking bad about yourself? Or do you realize that energy flows up and down and all types of things happen and all types of experiences occur? And are you okay with observing yourself in those moments with compassion and love? Instead of being like, damn, I'm not healed, because that would what happened. I'd do so much work. I'd work out through so many things. And then I'm like, I'm not healed. What's going on with me? Oh man, I tried all this stuff. I wasted all this money. Now it's kind of shifted. Whereas instead of avoiding the discomfort, being angry when I'm uncomfortable, I am in the process of shifting to having a genuine curiosity of my discomfort and where it's from and listening to myself. And with this confidence comes a respect for yourself, where you choose what's right for you. And the paradox within that is when you choose what's right for you, you can be more present for others. It's not a selfish thing to do that. Because if you're a people pleaser, if you're choosing to just go with what the energy around you is dictating for you, you're not doing yourself any justice and you're not doing the other person any justice. So this is the work that I am at right now. I feel a sense of really huge peace. I have connected with my family members in a way that is deeper than I ever imagined. I wrote a letter to my mom and dad about all the trauma that happened to me. This is part of the tantric work that happened after the retreat with Tariq. And we had a conversation, spoke about it, spoke about sexual trauma and molestation and what happened on a deeper level, something I never thought my Indian conservative parents could ever do. And it is because it was time. It's time for me to not allow these things to dictate my life anymore. And it's time for humanity to not allow these things to hold us back anymore and inhibit your true potential. Because we're getting into a time now, right? We're getting into a time where reality and this paradigm as we have known it is completely going to change. And that's not the topic of this conversation today, but at portaltoascension.org, you can find out why. And YouTube channel, you can find out why as well. But a whole re-education and a shifting of this paradigm is occurring. And I made a decision to myself. I can't be a leader of this organization riddled with all these traumas. So I did the work. But honestly, everybody tuning in here right now, we're all at a place where we're all going to be the way showers for this new paradigm. And the only way that we can go into this new reality is if we don't take our baggage with us. Imagine it. There's a black hole. And through that black hole is the fifth dimension, right? Or the new existence. We used to spin around the ends of the black hole and it would take lifetimes to go around. It would take, you'd have so little stimuli because you're in your village. You never went more than a couple miles away. It would take so many times to get the same lesson. Now, globalization, experience after experience, stimuli nonstop, reflections on Instagram, all these things, bring it up, insecurities, bring it up, traumas all the time. We are now at the end, at the event horizon. We're right at the tip of the event horizon of the entrance of the black hole, spinning around at it 1 million times per lifetime. Spinning around so fast, we're getting smacked in the face with experiences daily reminders of our traumas, daily reminders of our reflections, daily stimuli, so much so that we're having the opportunity. This is how you can look at it rather than like, oh my God, so many things are reflecting to me my insecurities. It's more like we have the opportunity to confront and deal with these insecurities. And the reason why we have this opportunity is because the universe knows that we are about to shift into a new reality, a new octave, but we can't take our baggage with us. So before we enter the event horizon, we need to do that inner work. And after literally like 1,000 modalities, 23 years of being into this stuff, 15 years of doing this work, the Tantra work is the one that really, really, really helped me out. Like, I've been looking for so much to release and so many ways to do it, but not until I started really diving into this work and getting to divine polarity, releasing the trauma, realizing what it means to be in my body, did anything start changing for me. So that's my journey. I'm still on it. Thank you for letting me share. Now I'm going to just close out here with a poem as Sarika asked me to do.
Thank you, brother. Appreciate it. Thank you so much.
Welcome,
Great.
bro.
Yeah, I've been taking notes, and I love the different aspects of the masculine. And yeah, feel free. We got another 15 minutes if you have more time, so no pressure to finish to rush through anything. And I'm just curious before, are you going to share some poems?
Yeah, I'll do that.
Okay, I'm curious to know for our audience, for our female audience, what would you share are some of the gifts, the insights, the nuggets of wisdom from Tantra that can help them in relationships, maybe expressing their needs, or there's this fear of like asking for what they want or not feeling safe, because there's a difference between I'm not safe around Neil or unsafety came up for me around Neil. So what are some nuggets of wisdom you can share for women with this whole Tantra work that can help them feel safer, feel more empowered, express more easily.
Yeah. So I'm going to share a bit on that because I feel that I'm not qualified 100% to do it, right? So to be honest here, and but I'll share what I've experienced from what the feminine energy is, just a little bit of it. So feminine energy, obviously, just like the masculine, has so many different elements, right? But the receptive energy, the receiving force of it, and your ability to receive energy and experiences from people is definitely a feminine trait, but not a feminine female trait, just a trait in general of all of us being able to accept it. So I'll get into this element. We've existed in what is the wounded feminine for quite some time. And actually, this is perfect. I'll do a poem in a bit about this, actually, because I have a poem about this. Sometimes it's easier for me to speak in poetry. Same
I
with
feel
you,
you,
bro.
I feel you. I feel you.
So like we've lived in. I'll talk about the collective trauma of the feminine because I feel like I'm better qualified to speak about that. So we've lived in a wounded feminine energy, and this wounded feminine energy is the reason why we talk about the return of the divine feminine, right? But one thing I realized quite a while ago was that we have forgot to talk about the return of the divine masculine as well, because both elements have been wounded. Feminine energy, when it's wounded, it gets into retreat mode, it gets into protection mode. It looks at and adopts other traits that can help protect it, which happen to be the wounded masculine roles. So what I've witnessed and experienced is that a lot of women that are having a challenge really embracing what it means to be in the feminine energy, the healed feminine energy, have adopted wounded masculine traits in order to protect themselves. Because how else, what other shield are you going to use? When you're in a war against a certain energy, and a weapon, you're going to pick up that same weapon to protect yourself. And that is where the energy in general has gone, that in order to feel safe, women have figured out ways to embody certain masculine traits in order to do that, not allowing them to fully embrace their femininity, and not only the femininity within the feminine energy, but also their strength within the masculine energy. How can they be the sacred container? How can they be the provider? How can they be no BS? Because no BS, cutting through, knowing what you want, a truth, is a divine masculine trait that we all can have, right? So being iffy with this energy has put us into a state where it's been really challenging even reflecting what it is. And now in this world with so much confusion around polarity, okay, not to get into that too deeply, but with so much confusion around the polarity of it all, that I find that it's been more challenging for people to really figure out what it means to be a man or what it means to be a woman, if that's what you subscribe to. And now I will say that that's what it was for me until I got to the Tantra retreat, the first one, because I am a man, I identify as one. And until I got to that retreat, I didn't even know what it was to be a man. And it felt so good to be okay with being who I really felt that I am, So that's just a very short answer. It's not really going deep, Tarek, into what you said, because I honestly don't feel like I'm qualified to say it.
I hear you.
Yeah.
And shout outs to Isabella, our leader, our Tantra leader, that took the divine feminine force to initiate all these powerful men. So shout outs to the women out there doing the great work. One last question before you get into your poems. I'm curious to know, and thank you for your humility to not pretend you know all the answers and just share your own experience. If you have any insights as to shadowy darkness entity kind of stuff connecting to trauma, because part of the program we created helps us with our own shadow, helps us with dark energies and entities which are connected to traumas. Do you have any insights as to the connection between those things?
Yeah, I'd like to get a little esoteric right now and talk about the cycles of time. So here's something that I connected the dots with and really just I was mind blown from realizing this. So many ancient cultures talk about us having secular time, not thank you, Dr. Lisha. Creative energy, transformative energy is feminine as well. Thank you so much for sharing that. So the cycles of time, many ancient cultures say that time doesn't go linear, that we go through cycles. The time range is normally from 24,000 to 26,000 years. There's 13 years of ascension, 13 years of descension. Every ancient culture pre 4,000 years ago talks about this, right? The Mayans have a calendar like this. 2012 was connected to the Indians have one, the ancient Chinese, the ancient Kabbalistic texts, all of them. And within that, even the ancient Greeks, they talk about different ages that existed. 4 ages. Talk about the Satya Yuga, which I'm going to give you the Indian names for it. Satya Yuga, which is the golden age. The Treta Yuga, which is the silver age. The Dwarpa Yuga, which is the bronze age. And the Kali Yuga, which is the dark ages. Okay. As we go through these ages, we evolve in consciousness, we descend in consciousness. We evolve, we descend. Ancient Atlantis, which there's enough evidence from my book to prove that it existed. And we just did a 2-day conference on Atlantis last weekend. So ancient Atlantis, around 13,000 years ago, at the top of the Satya Yuga, the golden age, and then it fell. There was an asteroid that hit the planet, and we started descending into this age. So on one level, it seems like these cataclysms are almost timed perfectly between ages to be a catalyst for us to fall into darker ages. In the Satya Yuga in the golden age and the silver age, we have telepathy. And then in the bronze age, around 5,000 BCE, we lose our telepathic skills and we start writing things down. In those higher ages, everything is translated through telepathy. People are communicating through written words, poetry. And then we get darker and darker into descended ages. And as we get into descended ages, this is actually a science. This isn't just some esoteric metaphysical metaphors, right? The age of humanity on this, of us ascending and descending, is connected to the flat in space, there is no flat, of our Milky Way galaxy, okay? 13,000 years above, diving into the photon belt, the Milky Way galaxy, 13,000 years below, descension, ascension, descension. We're a serpent going up and down, well, actually a Fibonacci spiral going up and down our galactic center, a galactic disk. But as we're doing that, we're also rotating around the supermassive black hole. The black hole happens to be represented by Kali, whole other story, going around and round, and we're hitting galactic weather. Depending where we are, this is also part of one of my presentations on space anomalies. There's different galactic weather that affects the level of consciousness on our Earth. All the stars in space, mainstream accepted. Radiation hits our planet. Every star we see affects our consciousness. The position of our solar system within our galaxy affects our consciousness and cataclysmic events. The spiral up and down, over and over, ascension, descension, affects the vibration of our planet. All of those connect into a 26,000-year cycle that allows us to be susceptible to energies corrupting the human consciousness. Now getting into Tariq's question. As we descended and descended and descended, we went from being able to manifest things like Neo in the Matrix, like more than Neo in the Matrix, right? Having what the ancient Indians call CDs, powers, to having to use external tools to reflect and do the same things, like the tools in Egypt, the Ankh, and other tools, to having no ability and no remembrance, complete wiped out amnesia of the fact that we were divine at all. When we get to that point, that's when we get susceptible to the dark forces and the dark energy. So now there's 2 things here. One is these cycles are divinely orchestrated. Are we meant to descend? Are we meant to be dark? Are we meant to be able to be susceptible to these energies? And then 2, do we always have the power in us to wake up from that? And the answer is yes. Within every age, dark age, golden age, there's always those who wake up. Even in the Kali Yuga, the darkest of ages, there's those who wake up. And those people that are awake are the avatars that embody the truth awareness for the next age. And that's what's going on right now. So to get back to the question, yeah, I mean, the whole entity thing, like we've done events on it with people that are really been doing this for like decades. They're all about entity clearings and paranormal and all that stuff. Those are the experts you need to check out. But from my realization and understanding, is that humanity has been at a level of consciousness where we're able to be manipulated from technology, from actual entities, interdimensional beings, from archonic forces, from what some people call demonic forces, which I don't like to use that term because it seems even the negative energy was wounded originally, right? Had a lack of love. And at this point, it's corrupted the consciousness of many people. However, there's some hope here that we are at the other end, at the end of the Kali Yuga. We're actually at an upturn in consciousness. We're going from the Kali Yuga, which is the age of delusion, Kali Yuga, written thousands of years ago. Age of delusion, what's right is wrong, what's wrong is right. Age of hierarchy, police, humans, citizens. Authority, kings, queens, politicians, commoners. To the age of sovereignty, right? And the age of energy. Okay, that's the age that we've just entered, the age of energy. And in the age of energy is when we start releasing these forces that have corrupted our consciousness. Because first, we create energy, electricity. Second, we realize we are energy, quantum physics. Third, we master our own energetic field. Now, Kali Tantra, tying it all in here, was prophesized to be the teachings of the Kali age to help people transcend the Kali age. Because real Kali Tantra work, you get confronted with the darkness. That's why all those things came up for me. You get confronted with all the issues, all the traumas, everything. You don't avoid it and ignore it. You dive deep into it, so much so that you have no choice but to experience it. And by fully experiencing the Kali Yuga, you end up getting to a level of consciousness where you can release the darkness. By able the fact that there's these forces around, that these archonic energies around, that there's corruption going on, that the human minds are so manipulatable within this cycle, by avoiding that, we're just spiritual bypassing, and it has more of an effect on us. By shedding light on it, realizing that it's there, and doing the deep work to go into our own shadow world, as they say, the dark night of the soul, or the shadow work, that is when we really shift, right? So that's my answer on that. But I want to say one more thing, that somebody said, like, this is so cool. Like, we are the shadow work of our higher dimensional selves. Because what is a shadow? A shadow is the light that is cast from the obscuring of a being. We are made out of quantum frequencies. The quantum frequencies is pure light. You and I, we're not physical beings. I'm not a brown Indian dude. I am a freaking light photon frequency vibrating in and out of reality, proven through quantum experiences right now. I am literally the shadow of my higher dimensional self infused into this reality. So we are the shadow work of our higher dimensional selves, here to process things so that we can rejoin our higher selves and we can embody that physicality, the higher version of ourselves within the physical realm, without having to leave our bodies, but to bring it down here. And from my experience, from the people I work with, I feel humanity's intention and goal is to bring that lesson to the whole universe. That we're going to, as we ascend, we become the star beings to other planets. We go there, we teach them how we had complete amnesia. Okay. I'm known for my tangents, but it all connects here. You and I, we came into this planet with amnesia. We don't remember our past lives. We don't remember our connection to source. It's all things that had to come back to us somehow, right? And even if you remember your connection, you also have some sort of amnesia. Do you remember every incarnation you had? From my experience and research, many ancient civilizations, many ET civilizations don't ever have amnesia on the level we do. But with amnesia, the spark of source, the spark of God, the spark of consciousness is so strong that we still wake up. We had completely wiped our brains clean. We don't even have any remembrance of this. But even with that, our essence is so divinely connected to source that the source will always win and always prevail. And that is the long answer to Tarek's question about the energies in the darkness. Okay, so that's it for that. I'm going to, unless you want to jump in, Tarek, I'm just going to jump right into a poem and close it out here.
Please close it out. That was amazing. We're getting a lot of amens and deeds and love. And thank you so much for that. That was beautiful. And the tangents connect, bro. Please close this off with your beautiful poetry, bro. And
Okay.
someone was asking what your website is. It's on the screen right now, portaltoascension.org.
Yes.
The spiritual Netflix of everything truth, right?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, so sign up on our website, again, portalascension.org. You can sign up there and you'll get a username and password to access a couple thousand hours of free presentations. You can go to upcoming webinars, and we have a bunch of stuff there. And actually, on July 15th, we're doing a free gift to our community called Energy Healing, Spirituality, and Metaphysics Conference. It's an 8-hour event of 35-minute energy healing transmissions from like 10 speakers, back to back to back, like huge energy shifting event. So you can go to upcoming webinars, sign up for that. And then every day, if you want to get even deeper into the conspiracies that are real in the world, to the UFOs, to spirituality, consciousness, extraterrestrials, experiences, all that stuff, our YouTube channel has daily footage going out, youtube.com/portal to ascension. Okay, so I'm going to do this poem here. To me, it's like an ode to the feminine energy, right? Which is the embodiment of Mother Earth. So I call it Mother Earth. This one right here, this goes out to one of the manifestations of Source. The north sky reflects light on my porch. The entire planet is my church. Even when she is scorched, Mother Nature will nourish and replenish the soil so that mankind can reap the spoils. Abundance, creation, and destruction, the Kali Ma personification, manifesting on this plane in the form of all life. Married to Father Sky. Our minds remain fertile, earth on the back of a turtle, the Nephilim reversal, and generations of persecution. Nemesis brings retribution. And Ishtar's contribution are the flowers that bloom. She is the one who provides unconditional love to you. As we move over her surface, I dedicate these verses. She is always of surface. Time to give it back. Time to bring it back. The wounded feminine is where we've been at. But also the wounded man. The divine aspect ran away from a place a millennia ago. Patriarchy and damaged egos took over the world. Now is the moment to bring back the days of old. The divine feminine has been on hold, but it never truly left. The energy transcends gender as we embark on this quest to remember our nest before we were born. She blessed you and me. You and me. But who are we? We are an illustration of beauty and art, displayed in the cosmos for all of those who pass us to see and admire. She is the fire, the water, the wind, the birds. All other creatures have heard her voice, her voice, her voice. Her voice sings lands into existence, providing assistance and gravitational resistance so we can continue to thrive. When we die, before our souls return to the sky, we join her and we become her again. She is the truest of friends, with us until the end and our rebirth. She is Mother Earth. She is Mother Earth. She is Mother Earth. Thank you, everybody. Thanks, brother.
Aho, amen. Thank you so much. She is Mother Earth, our beautiful, powerful mother. Thank you so much, Neil. Your poetry album, it's an album. It's a written book. And where can people receive it?
So can I just show it real quick? I have the book. I just want to show it.
Of course. Celebrate, bro. Got to celebrate those wins. And stay tuned, guys. We have an amazing speaker coming up next. Faith Young will be blessing the stage with her awesomeness. All right.
So my book is out. It's on Amazon.
Yeah, Planet Earth.
Earth, Poetry from the Next Dimension.
Oh my God. And it's a whole journey from like source all the way to now.
Right. So it's a story of, and my album, because I showed it to you, the spoken word album that I showed you in Mexico, it's in post-production now. So that's going to be done within a couple weeks on Spotify. So this poetry book is starting with a soul coming from the center of a galaxy in a black hole, making its way to Earth, and then multiple lifetimes and incarnating on Earth. So you can get it on Amazon. And I just finished my second book, poetry book, called Our Galactic Origins, Intergalactic Poetry from Extraterrestrial Worlds. That one's all
Oh my
about ET
Lord.
life, dude. Yeah.
Beautiful, bro. Congratulations on those wins. Please, is it on Portal to Ascension, the website?
No, it's not on there. It's just on Amazon right now. I gotta add it because
Okay. Amazon, and then stay tuned for it on Spotify or all streaming platforms.
Yeah, exactly.
Beautiful, brother. Thank you so much for your time and energy, blessing us with your wisdom, with your vulnerability, with your lessons, with your story, with your being, because it's phenomenal. Appreciate you, brother.
I appreciate you too, man. All right, love
Thanks,
you, dude.
man.
Talk soon.
Love you too, man.
Bye.
Peace. All right. Let's all take a deep belly breath, breathing it in. Hold it for a few seconds and release. Think of it as a quick spiritual shower. Take another deep belly breath, breathing in all that love and light. Holding it in for a few seconds and release. Take one more deep belly breath. Hold it in for a few and release. Beautiful. Dr. Lisha's back in the house.
I'm back. My whole computer just dropped, but it's cool. We got it.
It was there to show you that I can support you when things like that happen.
Right? It was that container. I was like, oh my gosh, what's happening?
Yeah.
Thank you. Beautiful. Thank you. Wow,
Well,
Neil, thank you so much. That was beautiful. You connected so many beautiful things. I absolutely love that. I know that we've had a lot of deep conversations about masculine and feminine, about all of that. And the Yoga Sutras and Hinduism is big. I mean, I wrote all in. So I love it. I love his language. Thank you for sharing him with us.
You're welcome.
Yeah.
Yes.
So next we have Faith Young, and Faith and I met in Vegas. We were speaking together, and this is one of her books. She also has a workbook that goes along with this. I highly recommend this. We'll give you the link for this in a few. But Tarek, if you'd help me, if you'd hold that container and help me get Faith on here. Good morning, love. Oh, you're muted.
Good morning.
How are you?
I'm absolutely blessed.
I know. So, everybody, I would like to introduce you to a woman that I believe can manifest more than anything, a woman that has taught me a lot about resources and money and helped me step into my own trust with being supported and having enough. And somebody that I consider one of my dearest friends, Miss Faith Young. So Faith, you have an incredible story about your life in general and then where you're at today. And so I could spill the beans. But I want you to spill the beans for yourself and lay them out as you want, because the container that we have here is to just build on what Neil and Tarek and I have set up to open you up for endless possibility, for a life of miracles. And when it came to thinking about who can create miracles, it is this woman right here beside me. So, Faith, please share a little bit about yourself and tell us, what would Faith do?
Exactly. Thank you, Lisha. And we were just divinely meant to be in each other's lives. I feel like we're soul sisters for sure. And I love that he had my name. As soon as I got on, I was like, well, there I am on his tattoo when I got on this morning. And so my story, I mean, literally my book, like Lisha said, is a story of overcoming adversity and attracting love and abundance. And that's one of my gifts, is the ability to help people break through what's holding them back from receiving. My purpose on this earth is to reunite faith in humanity and to hold space for others to create space for more than what they can imagine. Because I believe even our imagination is limiting. Like it holds us back. Like if you've never experienced something, how can you create it? Right. And so one of the things is, and our listeners, this is for you. Yes, Boo Boo.
You guys, you should meet Boo Boo. Boo Boo helps her manifest everything.
Yes. And so that's my 6-pound chihuahua. And, she's been perfect the last 2 hours. And right now she's like, what about me? And so one thing that I like to mention to people is, here, say hi. There you go, Boo Boo. Okay. What do you think, huh? You share me for a minute? So here's an example of what I was saying about like bigger than you can imagine, right? So how many of you guys that are listening live and here with us, how many of you guys have had $1 million in your bank account at one time? Right? Put your hands up if you've had $1 million in your bank account at one time. Then put your hands up if you had a negative bank account. Like who's had a negative bank account? Okay. Right? So which one do you think you can manifest faster? The one that you know how it feels. Because that negative bank account, you know how that feels. Right? And so it's really important about manifesting is everything is energy. And the energy that you put out is what you'll receive. So it's so important to focus on what you do want instead of what you don't want about manifesting, and especially manifesting abundance. Manifesting is one thing that I've mastered. And I believe the experiences that we go through in this world is to remind us of our sacred gifts, the pain that we experience straight from the womb. Like we've all experienced pain for real. And that pain is to remind us of what's really important to us. And when we have the ability to then have that new awareness through that pain, then we can shift the outcome. And so I too, like probably every listener who's listening, has also experienced abuse. The first sexual abuse was probably when I was 3 or 4 years old. And as a result, you become more heightened awareness. You can hear things before other people can hear them. You can sense someone coming in the room before someone comes into the room. And so what if we use that same heightened experience to be able to manifest? To shift that heightened experience, and instead of it being pain, what were you saying, love?
I just said Boo Boo's just gonna bark. It's like she's gonna add some energy to us. So just let her talk.
It's okay. Come here.
Let her talk.
Here. If she sits here with me, okay, because she has something to say about it.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And so that heightened experience is like, what if our pain was actually and our trauma was to just remind us of our purpose? I believe we all have sacred gifts, and our sacred gifts are to help us attract abundance to fulfill our purpose on this earth. Let me say that again. I believe we all have sacred gifts, and our sacred gifts are designed to help us attract abundance so we can fulfill our purpose. You guys feel me? If you feel me, right, I feel you in the comments, because the truth is we have the ability to attract abundance. And abundance can come in all forms, like Lisha was talking about earlier. But we tend to have hidden beliefs, sometimes even generational beliefs around abundance. around money, about beliefs around money. And so I wanted to share my story and kind of where I've come from and where I am today as a result of those experiences. And so when one of the traumas, because I believe we have trauma around money as well. Do you guys feel that way?
Yeah, for sure. Absolutely. I know that we've talked a lot about that, right?
Right.
And yeah, so let's clear some of that.
For sure. I was ready to heal. And I truly believe, and just so you know, trauma could happen like 30 years ago, but I believe you can heal from trauma overnight. Like it literally does not have to take 30 years. I've heard Lisha say these exact words. It doesn't take 30 years to heal from trauma. Whose belief is that, right? And so I think I feel the same thing is true when we about money. I bet every single person on this live right now has some trauma around money. So
just that negative bank account.
Exactly. So I want to share a trauma experience that I've experienced in my life around money, and I feel that people can relate. So when I was 15 years old, it was rough. I grew up in a rough situation in my life. It was scarcity, violence, and abuse. That was my life growing up. So by the time I was 15 years old, I ran away. I ran all the way out of state, had no money. I knew one person, and I was gone for like weeks. And at the time, my so-called boyfriend turned me in to my mom, let her know where I was. Cops came and grabbed me and threw me into like a kind of like a loony bin, if you will, and kind of locked me in there. And so she came to get me. And so when she came to get me, he exchanged my wedding. She gave my ex-boyfriend our engagement ring for exchanging where I was. So talk about trauma, like the person who I loved the most, who was my fiance, literally traded me for a materialistic thing. It was rough. So that's not even half of it. I was 15 and I started working at 14. Anybody else was there? Working at 13, 14 years old? Yes. Okay. Even younger, maybe forced to be working sexually, like Lisha, at a very young age. And so I came home from that trip. I hadn't worked in weeks because, like I said, I ran away. And I go to the bank, and this is little tiny, tiny bank, like a community bank, like there's only one. And I love the comments coming in. I love that everyone's so engaged. Please keep doing that because this is about your healing.
Yeah.
This is why we're sharing our pain. And Boo Boo's, she wants to join in too. You're being a good girl. And so long story short, I come home. And this is from not working, having no money. I had ran away, and I go to the bank and I go to withdraw some money so I can have some food and get back on my feet and start a new job. And the teller says, "No, your account's wiped out. You have $0." At the time when I left and ran away, I had $500. $500 at 15 was a lot of money. Okay. Be like 5,000 probably right now. You guys feel me? Okay, remember how much money you had when you were 15. $500. And I go in there and my mom had wiped out my account. And I fall to the fetal position in this bank, literally crying because everything I earned, all my hard-earned money, gone. Just like that. And my mom didn't even tell me. She didn't even tell me that she took my money. And so talk about pain around the person who's supposed to provide for you and protect you, just literally violated all my belief. And at the time, it hurt so bad, as you can imagine, the pain in your belly, in your base chakra. By the way, your base chakra is your money maker. Okay. So that's why I'm in a fetal position. Okay.
She goes, what is your moneymaker? You guys, faithism, like, oh, how's your moneymaker? That's what she
Yep.
asked me. How's your moneymaker? How's it going? And to separate the moneymaker from sex and sexuality and the shame and the guilt that we feel, like that's what we focused on yesterday in the summit. But it's real. Like, but once you clear that, it's like, whoo, you feel the turn on, you feel that flow. That's that Shakti energy that Neil was just talking about. It's powerful. Okay, so let's talk about the moneymaker.
So yes, so my moneymaker was trauma. So trauma we've all had trauma around money, whether you want to believe it or not. And it could be even past life or your mother, because we're corded at birth, literally. So your mother's belief around money could be corded into you as well. So sometimes you need to do deep, deep healing, like generational healing around money. I shouldn't say sometimes, I think probably all of us somewhere have these hidden beliefs around money. And that could come from generational pain. Like Neil was saying, he had sexual abuse going back to what, the 1400s, whatever year he said. That's truth. That's powerful. And all of us have some kind of trauma around money. That probably goes back just as far. And so that was real life trauma. And so I realized that I had to take care of me at 15 years old. Also, my father left when I was 15. And the last words he said to me was, take care of you. No one's ever going to take care of you, Faith. Take care of you. And those are the last words I ever heard from my father 30 years ago. So I was like, well, I got to take care of me. No one's going to take care of me. So I started saving money. And by the time I was 18, I had $5,000 saved up. That was a lot of money at 18. That was a lot of money. Like, I think we got paid, what, $2.75 an hour or something?
Yeah. Back in the,
we didn't get
back
paid
in the
no
90s.
$15 an hour, okay?
No, it was
No.
$2.75 plus tips.
Exactly. And even at $15 an hour, think of how long you got to work just to get $5,000. Okay. At 15 an hour.
Yeah.
So, and just so you know, I couldn't trust banks. I couldn't put my money in a bank because my money got erased just like that. So I cut a hole in my floor, in my closet, through the carpet, through the padding, into the baseboard, the flooring, and put a box in there. And that's where I put my money.
You watched too many movies, or just enough movies.
For real. But when I was 18, I knew where my money was, and I was going to leave, and I was never going to come back. I was going to leave, take that 5,000 and leave. And then something happened. My niece, my oldest niece, my firstborn niece, happened when I was 17. And I said to myself, hey, I could take this path that I said I was going to take and leave and never come back, or I can stay to be a positive impact in her life and shift this generational pain. And I chose to stay. I did buy a car, and I paid $5,000 cash for my first car. That was pretty sick.
That was pretty awesome.
So
pretty awesome.
Right? So long story short, that's some of my pain. That's a lot of my pain came from that. And my mom, just so you guys know, she did the best she could. She was a single mom, and she was working at McDonald's. She didn't have money to fly to Indiana to get me because I ran away. So the only thing she knew to do was take my money to help get me back.
Yeah. So from an adult perspective, you can go, oh, well, that makes sense, right?
Yeah.
And she was thinking she was saving your life, but as a child, it felt like absolute betrayal, right?
100%.
And then it matched up to all of this relationship with money. Can we fast forward to you got married? I'm just going to tell this bit. You got married.
Yeah.
And yeah, let's just say you got married, and then it was ending. Tell me a bit about that and where you're at now.
Yeah, absolutely. That pain story is huge to my journey and where I am today. So we go back to 2005 and I'm working retail. I had just graduated from college in 2020. No, in 2000 is when I graduated from college and I was still working retail. And my personal assistant at the time was like, Faith, oh my gosh, you're the best. She was like my assistant at my retail job. And she was like, you're the best salesperson I know. You should go make the biggest commission, meaning going to real estate. And I was like, damn, okay. And so then my boss goes to give me my annual review a couple months later. And she's like, you're capped out. So I'm a store manager working retail. And she's like, you're capped out. And I'm like, what do you mean? She's like, you'll never make more money at this position. And I was like, wait a minute. No matter how hard, because I was working probably 80 hours a week. So no matter how hard I work or how little I work, I'm going to get paid the same amount in 12 months. She's like, yeah. And I was like, oh, hells no. Like, no way. Like, seriously, that doesn't make any sense to me. Like, why would I continue at the pace I am if I won't be rewarded for my efforts? And at that very moment, I was like, no one's going to dictate what I'm worth besides me. And so I went home and I was married at the time. Key, his word was ex-husband. But I came home, and this was in 2005. And I came home and I told my ex-husband, I was like, oh, guess what? Guess what? I'm going to go into real estate. And guess what he said? He literally was like, you're a fucking idiot to go into real estate. That's what he said. And instinctively I said, I'm going to be successful in real estate with or without you. Clearly, see how that turned out.
Yeah.
But my own support system, the person who I thought would be there to encourage me on, told me I was an idiot. So I go to get my real estate license. How many of you guys have your real estate license? Or, right?
I did it.
Right? Okay, so you can understand. So this test is hard. Okay, it's hard. I call it a mini bar. Okay, like a mini bar exam. How many people have taken the bar? Okay, if you have, put it in the notes, right? Or even the insurance. Like when you get your life insurance. All those you have to take these tests for. So long story short, I go in to take my real estate exam. So I go into real estate even though my husband at the time told me I was an idiot to go into real estate. So I go in and I take this test. And you had to have like an 86 to pass. I got an 85. I missed it by a half a question. Not once. So I failed it not just once, not twice, not 3 times, not 4 times, 5 times. I failed my
That's perseverance. I don't know if I've ever heard that piece of this story, and I've heard this story a lot. But that's perseverance, right? Sometimes you got to follow your gut, you guys. This is the lesson I'm getting here. And you tell me if you guys just got a lesson, but I'm getting the lesson, Faith. Sometimes you just got to follow your gut and keep going after your dreams. I think Neil talked about quitting his business and quitting his business. I quit Your Own University, and I've tried not to be a trauma sex therapist for forever. I mean, I've tried the big deal, get out, right? Like I've wanted to run from this, but sometimes that gut feeling, the soul just presses you into what you're supposed to do, and you kept following that. And so I want to commend you for that. That's freaking awesome. Thank you, okay, so 5 times, and then
5 times. So get this, okay? The 5th time, and you guys are going to relate. You all have felt this kind of pain in your life around money. So I get out of taking this test, and I failed it for the 5th time, and I got an 85 again. I missed it by a half a question. Okay. And I walk out of the building, and I remember my energy is so intense that this guy's holding the door for me. And I just walk out, and he's pissed that I didn't say thank you. And I'm like, it's been a day. Okay. It's been a day. I'm having the really, really shitty day. And I get to my SUV, and literally guess what I say to myself? I say, he's right. I am a fucking idiot. And I stayed in that car for 2 hours, and I changed that story. And I said, you know what? I'm not a fucking idiot. I just suck at taking tests. I have dyslexia, and a real estate exam, any of these exams, like the bar, it's a double, triple negative. Okay. And when you have dyslexia, you're like, which way do I go? Like, you have to work twice as hard for something that comes easy. That's the persistence. That's what Lisha's saying. It's like not giving up. And I changed that story. It was a defining moment in my life. I didn't leave that parking lot for 2 hours until I changed my belief.
So the first step, you guys, I just want to point this out because it is so powerful. And I think this is one, especially in trauma therapy, this is the one that we all miss. Okay. She just owned it. She said, oh, fuck, I believed him. I believe him. Something in me goes, yep, he's right. She didn't want to believe him. She wanted to prove him wrong. And you know me, I'm like stuck in proving. So often I have to catch this, and faith helps me. But number one, you guys, she owned it. She just owned it. She said, oh, that is my belief. 2, she shifted it. So how did you shift it, love?
Absolutely. So the most important thing is to, the ownership. And that's what I say to people. I'm like, you want to know what changed my life? When I eliminated blame and I started taking ownership. Ownership. Like, I got in that relationship. I was with a narcissist who that was a way to control. Hey, did he want me to make more money than him? No. And so it was that internal belief that we all have inside us, this light that somewhere along the line on our path got burned out. And I knew from a little girl that I was destined for something big, that my light was meant to shine, and I was not going to let someone else's belief of who I am impact who I become. Let me say that again. Right then, I determined that I would not let someone else's belief of who I am dictate who I become. And that was a defining moment in my life. And I literally changed the entire course of my life. And I went from scarcity, abuse, violence to abundance, joy, happiness, success as a result of that very moment, changing my course. And most people would give up. I've only met one person in 18 years who's failed it more than I have. One person who failed the test, and actually is in real estate. So most people give up after the third time. Matter of fact, business generate when you go to call somebody and say, hey, I was just thinking about you. How are things going? And they're like, no, I'm not ready to sell. Like, I don't need anything, right? Most people give up after the third contact. Did you know 95% of business doesn't happen until after the 5th contact? And 95% of people never make the 4th call. They never even have an opportunity to build wealth because they gave up before the 5th. And the money happens after the 5th. So take away from this, what I want you to take away is that perseverance, that ability to push through the threshold when other people throw in the pain, because I believe right at that threshold, what's on the other side is all the magic. So right now, some of you are literally faced with the threshold right now. Do I quit my job? Do I start that new business? Do I take that leap of faith? And I'm here to tell you, absolutely. Because what do you have to lose? But what do you have to gain? What do you have to gain? And the most important thing to remember is that our gifts that I was talking about, our sacred gifts, every time I don't make a call, I'm hindering someone else from receiving. When you realize how much value you bring, you literally cannot share it enough. And the time you don't share it is the time that person needed you. You guys feel me? If you feel me, write the words, I feel you.
I absolutely love that. So number one is to take ownership. And one thing that I put in the comments here that's really important, I think a lot of spiritual self-help, manifesting things, they say, oh, take ownership. You're responsible for your reality. And we mix that up with being responsible for other people's actions, like we call in this co-creation. Please remember that you're co-creating. But what she separated there is she realized where she was allowing him to making him right by believing his bullshit story about her. And she took ownership of her agreement with him. And we can do that with our abusers, with our story, with our own stuff, with our parents and their negative self-talk. If you went through that, with stories that you have in your head. And once you have that, that's where the magic happens. That's where the magic happens. That's when it's yours, and whatever is yours, you can shift, you can go for. So that was many, many years ago. You and since then you've written your book, you've mastered real estate. You can tell people about that. Okay.
Yes.
And
So one of my things that I used to say when I was married, and you guys, you'll relate to this because you have some story too around money. And the thing we used to say when I was married is, oh, if we just had more money, we'd be happy. Right? Some people are like, oh, if we just had more money, we'd have freedom. Right? Whatever story you have in your head around money. And so when we fast forward, that was 2005. We fast forward to 2008, and I get fired from my job, literally. And and so all of a sudden, like, I was the money maker, I was the bread maker for my husband and I, and now I have no money coming in. And then a girlfriend of mine dies in this horrific accident, this 4-wheeler accident. And at 30 years old, leaves behind her fairy tale life, her little 5-year-old daughter, her prince husband, this fairy tale house they have. And so the funeral is on a Tuesday. And on Thursday, my ex gets up to walk out on me. And classic narcissist, by the way. Wait till you're rock bottom and have nothing to walk out. And he's going to walk out on me. And I was like, wait, you're walking out on me? He goes, yeah, I just don't know how to handle you. And I was like, okay, well, then don't ever come back. He called my bluff on that 9 months later when he thought he was just going to move back in. So long story short, I had $6 in my bank account. Anyone been there? Have nothing. And right, literally lost everything. We lost our house for the divorce. Literally my first house. We lost our house. Like, I lost my job. My girlfriend died, and I lost my husband. Okay. On top of this sounds like a country song. My dog is dying of bone cancer. Well, my dog Buddy, when I was going through my divorce. So I used to write in my journal, I'm so lonely. Thank God for Buddy. And the universe is like, you want to be lonely? I'll show you lonely. Poof, has cancer. So our words are powerful. And so what I started saying, remember the story I said, if we only had money, we'd be happy. So once I started going through my divorce, I focused on being happy. And guess what started showing up? Money. We have it all backwards. We think money's going to buy happiness. Once we have more money, we'll have more freedom. Once we have more money, we can travel. Once we have more money, we can be happy. No, the truth was joy magnifies money, not fear or lack of or scarcity. That repels money. But being happy is what helped attract money. I changed what was a priority in my life, and my well-being was number one. And the universe started rewarding me for that effort. And so that's what shifted that path from literally my whole life. I had scarcity, abuse, and violence, negativity. And I shifted that path and started focusing on what I do want. And I started focusing on attracting abundance into my life. And my life literally was night and day. By 2000 and from 2010 to 2015, I had doubled my income every year for 5 years in a row. Who would like to do that? To double their income every year for 5 years in a row. So in 2015, the amount of money I paid to the IRS for taxes was the amount of money I made for a living in 2010. The amount of money I paid to the IRS was the amount of money I made 5 years ago, 5 years previous, for the whole year income. So imagine that right now. Think how much money you make right now, and how would you like to write a check, a big fat check for that much to the IRS? Because that's how much money you made that you get to write that big fat check. Now that's life-changing. Right? Like sit there for a minute and really imagine that kind of wealth in your life. I have a whole exercise around that.
Let's do it. Let's do your exercise.
Okay. So how many people are in this watching this?
So
live
Tarek, can you take me off and just let her do this exercise so I can experience it too?
Yes, please do. Okay. So all of you guys that are in here, you'll need to grab paper and pen if you don't already have it, because I'm sure you're taking some good notes. So I want you to write down what you made for a living 5 years ago. Okay, so what is that, 2018? Write down the amount of money you made that year, okay? And then you're going to write down what you made for 2019, 2020, all the way up to right now. And how many of you guys, while you're doing this, how many of you guys are millionaires that are in this group, right? If you are, say, I am. If any of you guys want to be a millionaire, right? I want to be a millionaire, okay? I want you to write that down, okay? And add up those 5 years. I'm going to give you guys a minute or so to write this down. And it's an estimate, okay? Don't go back and try and pull up your W-2s, okay? We don't have time for that. I love it. Tammy says, I will be. Yes, you will. I love Tammy, by the way. I love you, girl. I'm so glad you're here on here live. So write down the income for the last 5 years. Add it all up for me. Okay? Add it all up. Some of you guys post what your income has been, the amounts. So if you made 100,000 for the last 5 years, hey, it's really easy. You made 500,000. Some of you guys post in the comments what your 5 years are added together and put it inside the comments, the last 5 years. Okay. So take a deep breath. This is a really powerful exercise because if I take what I made for the last 5 years and add it together, it's definitely well above $1 million. Okay, so is that 700,000 or 73,000? 73,000? Okay, cool. For the last 5 years combined. Okay, perfect. Let's add a 0 to that, shall we? Right, Courtney? Okay. So I want you to take your 5 years. And how many of you guys for the last 5 years does it add up to $1 million? If the last 5 years you made 100,000, yes, let's add a 0 to that, Courtney. How would that feel to add that? Okay, so this one comment says 200,000. So you've made 200,000 in the last 5 years. Okay, perfect. Okay, so now what if you doubled that? So take your 5 years, because remember I told you in 2010 to 2015, I doubled my income for every year for 5 years in a row. So if you took your income, right? So the one person said 200,000. So if your income, let's say, is 100, so take your current income and you double that, and so next year, if you doubled it, you'd make 200,000. The third year, you'd make 400. The third year, you would make 800, and the fifth year, you would make 1.6. So that would mean in 5 years, you'd be a millionaire. Pretty powerful, right? And if you're at 73,000 or if you're at 25,000, okay, it might take 10 years. But still, would that be cool to be a millionaire in 10 years? And that's just a matter of perspective. What if it doesn't take 10 years? What if it took 10 months? Because our belief around money, I truly believe, write this one down. People are paid in direct proportion of the amount of value they perceive they give. People are paid in the direct proportion of the value they perceive they give. Sometimes that stings when you're not making the money you want to make. You feel me? Right, I feel you. So maybe it's the belief around here that is holding you back from building wealth. You feel me? People are paid, yes, in the direct proportion of the value they perceive they give, right? Does that resonate? Does that feel? Does it sting? If you're not making enough money right now, that stings and it hurts. But the truth is, are you seeing your value? Because if you don't see your own value, how the hell is your boss going to see your value? Or the next person you go to interview, or your next client you go to hire, that goes to hire you. If you don't perceive your value, why would your client pay you $10,000 if you think you're only worth $1,000? Right? You guys feel me? Perfect. So how soon are you guys, write in there in the comments, how fast will you be a millionaire? Like if you made 250, you're talking in 3 years, you could be a millionaire. If you doubled your income every year. Like how powerful is that? And it's 100% possible. The only thing that's holding you back from attracting abundance in your life, 2 things. 1, healing the trauma. The physical trauma, the sexual trauma, the emotional trauma, and the trauma around money. You heal on it. Start healing that. Start taking ownership and eliminating blame. And see your value. Anything is possible. Anything is possible. Yes, double it up. Exactly. So how powerful is that? How many of you will be millionaires in the next 5 years? And by the way, millionaires don't have $1 million in their bank account. You don't have to have $1 million in your bank account. If you've made $1 million if the 5 years aren't good enough, go back another 10 and add it up. You might have already made $1 million in your life. So technically, are you already a millionaire? Because millionaires don't have $1 million in their bank. You know what millionaires do? They're building wealth. And my intention is each and every one of you guys to build so much wealth. You want to talk about building wealth? Is when you have so much wealth, you can buy real estate, and someone in your family needs $100,000 cancer treatment that is not covered by insurance, and you have the ability to take a HELOC off of your property to pay for that treatment. Now that's building wealth. You feel me? Take a deep breath. There's some heavy energy around that, because you know what? The truth is, each and every one of you guys do believe me when I say this. You all deserve to be wealthy. You all deserve to be wealthy. Literally say this after me. I deserve to be wealthy. I deserve to be wealthy. Here's one thing to add to this. Take a little sticky note, and I want you to put this on your mirror. Write it in permanent marker for all I care. But put a note that says these exact words. I am always taken care of. I am always taken care of. Because the truth is, you always have, and you always will. The difference is your relationship with money. So use that base chakra, your little money maker, to attract more abundance into your life. Was that exercise good? Did that shift some energy? If you guys feel any heavy energy in your body, be aware of it. Write it down. See what part, if it might be in your heart chakra, because if you have pain around love, that could be blocking you from receiving money as well. Powerful. And yes, write that down. I'm always taken care of, because that's the truth. So like when my ex walked out on me in 2008, this is like 14 years ago. Can you believe this? I had $6 in my bank account. Currently, let's fast forward. Let's totally fast forward. In 2020, I had paid off my loft, completely mortgage free. And 12 months ago, I got to buy my dream home. I've got to put $125,000 down as my down payment on my home I live in. So I went from $6 in my bank account to having more than $150,000 in my bank at one time in such a short amount of time. From 2006 to 2008, when I had $6 in my bank account, to 2022, being able to buy my dream home that I live in now, that I get to be sharing this video from. Is that powerful? Now that's changing your belief, taking ownership and persevering through the resistance, because most people will give up, and we've all given up. I've been in those times in my life when I was young and I gave up and I threw in the towel. Imagine next time if you don't throw in the towel and you push through that resistance. Just on the other side of that threshold is where the magic is. You feel me? Beautiful, beautiful. So, do you guys want another tip on what to do in those moments of weakness? I want to share a story with you. So, we fast forward. I've gone through my divorce. I'm dating the rebound, which, by the way, if you don't heal your shit from your divorce and go into a relationship immediately, you bring that same pain. You attract the exact same person. So at the time, this is about, 9 months after my divorce. And the guy I was dating at the time, we start fighting. And I was like, I don't want to fight tonight. I'm over this. I just want to go take a bath and unwind. So I go to take a bath and to unwind. And at the time, any of you guys ever been to Millionaire Mind? If you have, say I have in the comments. So Millionaire Mind is a workshop around money, actually. And I had my money jars, if anyone knows what those are. So you have these money jars. I still have them to this day. I could have grabbed them if I thought about it. So these money jars is you put money in it every day. You put money in your travel fund. You put money in your education fund. You put money in your, the money that you need every day to, go through your regular payments on everything. So you have all this money, and there's like 6 of these jars, and you put your money and you divide it up every day. So at the time, I was doing this every single night and put money in my money jars. And this guy I was seeing at the time, we get in this huge fight. And while I'm taking a bath, he comes in about, 15, 20 minutes later, and he's like, I'm out of here. I'm like, good. I didn't want to be around you anyways. So he leaves. And a couple hours later, I go to do my ritual of putting my money in my money jars. Yeah, you guessed it. He took all my money out of my money jars. So what happens? I find myself right back at that 15-year-old. I'm 32 maybe at this time, maybe 33. I find myself in the exact same position, in the fetal position, because talk about trauma. Talk about drama. Trauma around money. Here's my boyfriend doing the exact same thing that happened to me, that my own mother did 15, 16, 17 years earlier. I fall into the fetal position. And the only difference between then and that, what happened 15 years earlier, was my emotional, spiritual, and financial growth that I had done internally and externally. And so I fall into the fetal position, and I had already implemented this exercise that I'm going to share with you guys. So right then I decided, and it's inside my journal, this exact exercise, is to write 100 things that you're grateful for. And the reason why this is so powerful in these weakest moments, in these moments of pain and betrayal. Yes, that's what Lisha said earlier. I felt so betrayed, and it happened again. So this pattern showed up again in my life. But this time I was in a much better place. And I took my journal out and I started writing 100 things I was grateful for. Because you cannot physically feel scarcity, betrayal, negativity at the same time of feeling joy and abundance and gratitude. Physically, our body can only feel one emotion at a time. And so when you powerfully shift that emotion, you powerfully shift the outcome. So I started writing things like, I'm grateful he didn't take my life. I'm grateful he didn't take my credit cards. I'm grateful he didn't take my SUV, right? Because he could have took the keys to the SUV at the same time. So these are things I started writing. I could only get 25 down, by the way. When you're in a really, really dark place, sometimes that's all you have to give. And then I went to bed, and in the morning, I woke up and I said, he needed the money more than me. I'll just go make more money. You guys feel me? That's how powerful it is. That's how you can shift that energy. Because we can all shine on a good day. But how you show up on a bad day, that shows your true colors. That shows your true colors. So write that exercise down. If you haven't already gone on Amazon, you can. This is my 90-day journal, and it has that exercise in here. And the journal is about keeping focus on what we do want. Because we tend to attract whatever we put out. And if you are in a negative place or have had trauma, physical, spiritual, sexual, and financial trauma, if you stay stuck in that, what do you think you're going to attract? More of that. So the most powerful thing you can do is shift your energy, shift your environment, and shift your life. Who's ready to attract more abundance into their life? Powerful, right? I'm so grateful that Lisha and I were just meant, we were destined to be soul sisters, just destined to, we were just destined. Right?
We were destined. We were destined. Oh my gosh. That practice was incredible. What I realized is there's a specific number I've been stuck to. And one thing that you said when we did meet was you've shifted over the last couple of years. And that is a statement is you are making the money that is equivalent to the value you bring to the world. And you added in there the value you believe that you bring to the world. And I want to say I feel that shift because it changed the entire thing, because it gave me ownership of that, because I know I bring huge value to the world.
And that's true. That is the truth.
And I also see how much I'm working on the martyr and the nun. And I also see that I have not given myself a raise in the last some years when it comes down. And I'm sad. I mean, we can do some infinity healing in it. I know Tarek has something really beautiful coming up, but I'm sad about that. I have some shame. I have embarrassment. I suffer with that embarrassment, like wanting to give and give back. So one thing that you said that's really, really powerful, I also want to drive home before we just sign off. I just love your energy here, is to own this. And I want to point out that she didn't like say, oh, I don't believe this. Oh, don't feel shame. Don't feel embarrassment. Don't feel scared that he took everything. Don't feel upset that the person didn't write up the offer right, or the person didn't buy. She didn't say block, like she didn't block any of her energy. She didn't stuff it. She didn't talk herself out of it. All right. What she did was she owned it. She owned it. She's like, holy shit, this is how I feel, or this is what just happened. And in the face of that, how can I redirect that energy? So instead of going down this fork in the path, I can go down this fork in the path. So she's owning her energy in her belly. She's owning, or it's in my belly right now. She's owning the shame. She's owning, I'm owning the shame. I'm owning the embarrassment. And even though I have this and I can witness this, and this is how I've been feeling, like what can I do with it now that I own it? Now it's my energy. That's what's shifting. It's my energy to shift. And that's huge aha. I always get ahas with you, love. I absolutely love it. Thank you so much for sharing. Everybody, please run and get her gift. You can get it on Thing Turkey. You can get it on Amazon. It comes in hardback. She also has a black one. It's downstairs. But do you have it? Yeah. And
And
these are
guess
her
what's on the
journals.
back?
Hundy, we got Benjamin's. So she has that book. You can buy them both. This is her story of inspiration. That is that on Amazon. What would Faith do? Follow her and all that stuff. Faith, thank you, love, for sharing your amazingness with me yet again and all of us.
Yes, you're worth it. I feel like people are ready to receive. Yeah. And that's exactly, I believe when you have a new awareness, you can shift the outcome.
Yeah.
Like we have all the knowledge we ever need is inside of us. If you believe you and God are as one, or the universe or I as one, then all the resources you ever need is already inside you.
Yeah. And Tammy says, I highly recommend Faith's book and journal. Yes, Tammy.
I love you. Thank you again. This has been a true honor. And I'm just excited. I feel like people should be stoked up. Like, don't be surprised if tomorrow you get a call and the client's like, oh yeah, I want to buy your full package of 10,000 a month. Because that's how fast you can shift the energy around money.
Yeah, absolutely.
Thank you so much, Faith, for your vulnerability, your story, inspiration. I'm fired up. My level of faith has increased. My level of motivation has increased. It just feels so much more believable hearing your story. And those simple call to actions about your book and journal seem very doable. And I put it in the description. The Amazon link is just too long, so I just put in just Google what would Faith do, and you can get a Kindle or an Amazon version, and then you can follow her on at Faith, the letter N Young, on Instagram, or Faith Young on Facebook. Right?
Yes, absolutely. Thank you so much.
Bless your heart. What's your dog's name again?
Her name is Felice. I call her Boo Boo.
Felice.
And she wanted to be a
Yeah.
She wanted some mommy time, and so she got it.
I just watched Dog yesterday, so the dog and human connection.
Perfect.
I probably dreamt about it, so it makes sense that I'm seeing this right now. Bless. Thank you so much for all that you are and all that you do, and hopefully we'll continue this conversation another time.
Ditto. A true honor. You guys are worth it. Thank you.
Thank you. Let's all send her a big ball of love and appreciation and gratitude.
Receive graciously.
All right. And please message her with your wins, your breakthroughs, your insights, your nuggets of wisdom. Just share your wins with her, how she inspired you. Yes. Beautiful.
Sorry. Thank you. It's beautiful. And I know that you have some stuff to do. So I just want to see that. And I want to encourage everybody to come and say yes. Join us for our 8 weeks. Join us and taking this to the next level. Let us support you and hold you, whether it's through your trauma, transforming your trauma, claiming your trauma, and choosing what you're doing with that energy. and putting everything that we've went through, from pleasure practices to joy to the infinity healings, into action. And I really hope to see you on the inside.
Yes.
Yeah.
And for those of you who are joining us for the first time, I'll put a link to the program, tariqbb.com/SAM, which stands for Sex and Money, which we're diving in deep in the program in the next 8-week container to hold space for you to up level. It's amazing hearing the stories of the speakers, because those are the stages where we're taking you guys through, and we're diving deep, and we're clearing all the limiting beliefs, fears, emotions, root traumas. We're gaining the wisdom, the strategies, so we're hitting you guys on an intellectual
The
level.
generational stuff, all of it.
Yes, and so many people mentioned generational. So I'm gonna play. That's a nudge for me to play my song "7 Generations," which has an infinity healing to go back 7 generations and forward 7 generations. And actually, there's like pages and pages of prayers and intentions we put into it. So we'll share that as a closing today. And you guys, if you don't want to wait, you can just go to Indigo Prophet 7 Generations. I'm motivated. Lisha, let's challenge ourselves to who gets the million first based on Faith's inspiration.
Let's do it. Let's
All
do
right.
it.
It's on.
Put that much value out into the world. We put so much value into the world.
So much value.
Right?
You cannot,
so
Lisha,
much
you
value.
cannot put a price on the value we bring to the table. So when someone, their inner child heals, they take their power back, they forgive. It's like there's a ripple throughout eternity. There's like a ripple of blessings throughout the cosmos when that happens. So how do you put a price on that, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Saving lives. Saving lives. There is no price on a life, really.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
The government might put one on, but I don't.
Yeah.
So infinitely wealthy, having the wealth come in and out and in and out. And that I think both of us put on there that we just want to be able to give more, right? In order to give, you have to have.
Yeah.
I can want to take my friends out to dinner and take my friends on vacation and pay for other people's courses and hire contractors and hire people and share the wealth, but I can't do that unless I have the wealth to share, right? Yeah. And that is that. And so part of that is receiving. So when you guys offer us wealth, right, when you're like, yes, I see the value in this course, I see this value in the coaching or the healings or the trainings, and you believe in us, that allows us to go out and bless other people and believe in you back, believe in other people, believe and that is how wealth just multiplies and multiplies and multiplies and multiplies tenfold, right? And 10xing it all. And so thank you already for those of you who have joined us for the 8-week container or 7-week container in the bonus. And thank you for those of you who are going to join today and this week, and those of you who are going to work with us in the future, and those of you who just pass on and share this wisdom and share this content and share who we are, join one of our certification programs. Like you are stepping into that abundance, and together we hold this energy, right, of releasing the shame, releasing the embarrassment, releasing the I can't, releasing the excuses, and stepping into the yes. And that's what we're here for. So thank you, Tariq, for holding this space for me. For sure. Yeah.
You're very welcome. Okay, let's do it. So I thought I would have an hour. I will work with the time that we have. And then, so we'll do half an hour to 35 minutes. Let's take a few breaths. We'll get right into it. I'll do a few infinity healings based on, Lisha, you said shame came up for you. And
shame and embarrassment, embarrassment of how much money I'm not making. Yeah, and shame.
I got you on that.
Thank you.
Would you like, I'll do an infinity healing, support you with that. And then I'll also take some nuggets of wisdom from the speakers today and do some infinity healing activations based on
also one other thing, because I think we all went through it when we did the $1 million thing, to see because that's like a direct reflection when it comes to the 7 to see mirrors, one of our bonuses, right? But to see how much money we think we're worth.
Yeah.
And can we do an infinity healing on on increasing that, or like really owning that value and going, wow, what if I am worth more than I have put myself in that box of being worthy of?
100%. You got it.
Perfect. Awesome. I'm
All
going to
right.
lay down if that's okay. So I'll be in.
100%. 100%. Please lie down, fasten your safety belts, and get ready for an adventure of your lifetime. All right. So, first of all, for those of you who don't know about the infinity healing, by simply saying yes, you're allowing Source, God, Universe to do infinite things for you to give you the results that you're wanting. Starting now, we're activating the infinity healing. Would you like an infinity healing to receive more easily, more gracefully, more abundantly all that your heart is desiring? Would you like that? Yes. Any blocks in receiving, feeling worthy, feeling deserving, feeling good enough, any contradictory beliefs, mindsets, blueprints, templates, traits, attributes, habits, perceptions, perspectives, and judgments that are in the way of money, that are in the way of wealth, that are in the way of receiving, that are in the way of claiming your value, charging your worth, being seen, getting yourself out there, believing in yourself, believing in what you bring to the table, having a higher standard, holding that level of value, of worth, claiming your brilliance, letting go of those draining, less than energies, and keeping your eye on the prize, leading with your heart, leading with your overflow while keeping your cup full. Would you like that? Clearing any shame, clearing any judgment. You can only be where you're ready to be. And if you're exactly where you are right now, that's where you're ready to be. If you're already ready to be a billionaire, you would have been a billionaire. If you're ready to be a millionaire, you would have been a millionaire. You're somewhere on that trajectory, that spectrum. You're where you are now. And if there's anything stopping us from breaking through any glass ceilings, believing in ourselves, having those mindset shifts, those paradigm shifts, taking things to the next level, owning more of our infinite value, charging more of our infinite worth. Would you like an infinity healing for that? Yes, yes, yes. Beautiful. Believing in yourself, believing in your gifts, believing in your talents, believing in your abilities, giving infinite value, right? Giving so much of your value from your overflow and allowing yourself to receive what nurtures you, what nourishes you, what fills your cup, feels incongruent. There's a resonance with the people you're here to serve. You love working with them, they love working with you. They fill your cup, you fill their cup. It's a win-win-win situation. Would you like that? Beautiful. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Amen. And so it is. All right. So, like I shared 2 days ago, I was nudged and felt inspired to lead a regression. My intention for this regression is you're in a very safe container. My intention for this regression is you give yourself a pause. Like there's so much going on. That full moon in Capricorn kicked a lot of asses, kicked our asses pretty hard. A lot of people are experiencing being pulled in so many directions. The news is like, look what's happening, submarine and this and that. And there's like aliens coming down. It's like those magic tricks. Like look over here, distract you from here. What is the ultimate distraction? Is you. What is the ultimate distraction? Is that divine spark within. So gift yourself the opportunity to put a pause on life and go within where all your power is, where all your wisdom is, where all the answers you seek are, where there is infinite value and worth. So would you like to clear, just to honor Lisha's request, clear any shame, any guilt based on Faith's story, let go of blame, right? Blame is a beautiful way for the mind to give the power away, to take back that power, to let go of the need to blame, to take that responsibility. Remember when Faith said she's taking responsibility, she's taking ownership of it? That's a game changer. You shift from victim consciousness to creator consciousness. Would you like an infinity healing to own that, claim that, believe it's safe to do that? Know all the great things that will happen when you do that. Show the mind, the ego, the inner child, the mind mechanisms, self-sabotage, self-saboteur part of us. Show all those parts of ourselves, even our shadow selves, that it's safe to own our light, our power. Clearing the guilt, shame, grief, not good enough, failure energies, and really anchoring in, I can do this, really believe it, increasing our faith and belief more and more and more throughout this experience today. It is possible. I am claiming it. I deserve it. I am a millionaire. I am a billionaire. I am infinite value, infinite worth. Beautiful. All right, guys, I invite you to close your eyes and let's give it 15, 20 minutes of a journey. I invite you to close your eyes, take a deep belly breath, and release. Take another deep belly breath, and release. You know, I'm going to do a whole free call on a past life regression or inner child regression to, in the future, like give you guys the full thing. And I'm going to honor everyone's time and do like a version of that today. Take another deep belly breath and a release. So starting now, I want you to imagine yourself in your happy place, your safe place. It could be on the beach. It could be in a forest. It could be in your bed. And you're surrounded in a light bubble, a light bubble of love, impenetrable to anything that will harm you. So allow yourself to see what you see in your safe space, safe place. Hear what you hear. Feel what you feel. For me, my happy place is the beach, so I feel the sun shining down on me, warming my skin. Feel the sand and the pulsating energy of Mother Earth. I hear the sounds of the waves as they come and they go. I smell that ocean breeze and feel the wind brushing on my body, reminding me that there is a spiritual reality that is right there with me. Like Faith said earlier, I am supported. I am supported on all levels. And allow your subconscious mind or your higher self or your soul or God source energies to guide you into a deeper and deeper state of relaxation, of peace, of tranquility as we count down from 20 to 0. Starting now, with every count, allow your subconscious mind to guide you into a deeper state of peace and empowerment. Starting now, 20, relaxing your head, relaxing your forehead. 19, going deeper and deeper. 18, relaxing your eyes, your ears. 17, feel this relaxation ripple into your nose, your lips, your jaw. 17. Allowing your being to go deeper and deeper into a state of relaxation. Feel this relaxation spread into your chin, your throat. 16. Allow your higher self to guide you deeper and deeper. Beautiful. 15. Relaxing your shoulders. 14. Relaxing your arms, your hands, and your fingers. 13. Relaxing your chest, your heart space. 13. 12. Relaxing your stomach area. 11. Relaxing your upper back. 10. Relaxing up and down your spine. 9. Relaxing your lower back. 8. Feel this relaxation spread into your hips, your thighs, your knees, your ankles, your feet, and your toes. 8. Allowing yourself to go deeper and deeper and deeper. 7. 6. 5. 4. Deeper and deeper. 3. Letting it all go. Surrendering to the divine flow. 3. Allowing during this session every beat of your heart, every heartbeat, to deepen your relaxation and your connection to Source God Universe. 3, 2, setting aside the chatter in the mind, showing the mind safe to relax, step aside. 1, allowing love and only love to be present, truth and only truth to be spoken. And 0. And you can imagine yourself in this happy place. And during this session, when your heart beats, it guides you even deeper and deeper. And during the session, when you hear the sound of my voice, it guides you into a more and more relaxed state of being. And allow your imagination to guide you to see yourself lying down on a warm cloud that is cozy and comfy and cuddly, and allow this cloud to safely take you back. Now, your higher self will only show you what you're ready and willing to see. If it's best for you not to see things from your past, you will simply feel where these energies are stored in your body or your being. Starting now, allow this cloud to take you back. What is the number one most important thing to address during this regression? Something from your past, could be something from your childhood, could be something with mom, something with dad. What's the number one thing blocking your financial abundance, claiming your value, getting yourself out there, experiencing the success you desire? And some of you may see a visual, some of you may hear something, some of you may feel it, some of you might taste it, smell it, and some of you might just know it. And some of you may not experience anything, and it's totally okay. Please trust the process. What's the first thing that your higher self, your subconscious mind, is showing you? What is it from your past that's really getting in the way of the abundant flow? Clear your mind. Just be aware of what's the first thing that pops into your awareness. And allow that communication to become more and more empowered. So I'm feeling, and this could be mine, it could be someone on the call, it could be our collective, a huge pain in the left wrist. And that's very interesting because that's a receptivity hand. So starting now, would you like an infinity healing to cut any blocks, cords, hooks, attachments, spells, black magic, evil eye, jealousy, envy, to do with receptivity, to clear it, delete it, heal it, release it from the root of the root of the root. Show us that it's safe to receive. Learn the lessons from those past experiences where it wasn't safe to receive, where we didn't feel good enough to receive. It is safe to receive. I am receiving with ease, with grace. Wow. Tune into your left wrist. Tell me if you feel what I'm feeling. It just feels like the flow is coming in now, very strongly. See all the past experiences from the highest perspective. Learn all the lessons needed to be learned. Clear all the karma that needs to be cleared. And let your higher self show you, where does this all stem from? Is it a childhood experience? Is it an ancestral experience? Let's send that healing to the inner child. Let's send that healing to our ancestors. Our parents, our children, future generations. Let's share this healing with the collective. What lessons would your higher self or subconscious mind like you to learn from this experience? What's the lesson in it? To forgive ourselves for anything connecting to this and forgiving others that are connected to this block. Would you like that? Where do you feel it stored in your energy field or in your physical body or emotional body? Would you like an infinity healing to release it from the root of the root of the root, from the moment of conception, everything before it, everything after it, everything connecting to it, everyone connected to it. Thanking everything and everyone that led to us being here right now. Trusting the process, trusting God and our higher selves, bringing all the right circumstances to help us be where we're here today, to alchemize and use those experiences as catalysts. Would you like that? Not to blame, not to be a victim, but to alchemize it and use it as fuel to propel us forward on our path. Would you like that? To let our drive be so heart-centered, way beyond our trauma. It is our spirit driving us on our path with with a clear mission, clear vision, clear purpose, with conviction, resilience, brilliance, persistence, commitment, dedication, full force. Is there anything else your higher self or subconscious mind would like you to see from your past? Sometimes when you see or feel or whatever sense is working with you, something from the past, you're welcome to ask, why am I seeing this? What is this here to teach me? How can I grow from this? So I'm feeling the left wrist hurt again. So just allowing the healing energy to go into those deeper layers. It is safe to receive. Even if things have been taken away in the past, I'm safe to receive. It is safe to receive. I am receiving. I am receiving easily, gracefully, abundantly. It is safe. I clear the karma of it being taken away. I clear the karma of people manipulating me. I clear the karma of allowing myself to be used. I clear the karma of allowing myself to be manipulated. I clear the karma of not trusting myself, of not trusting my intuition. I I clear not being in my full power. I clear not owning my full value. I clear not charging my full worth. I'm dreaming bigger than ever. I'm impacting more and more people. I'm creating tremendous value in everything that I am and everything that I do. I am of service. We ask the divine show us what one act can we do every single day that will lead to the biggest impact on our planet. What is our greatest soul offering? What gifts can we share that will allow for the most impact within ourselves and within the planet and all the beings we're here to be of service to? What big why can become our big drive to wake up so passionately every morning, way beyond survival and needs of the self? It's bigger than us. Let our drive and why be so big that it becomes like a fun game. Can't wait to wake up and play that game. And the more you receive, the more you can give back. Yes. Now I'm feeling pain in like the womb area. So if we can all just breathe into that area. Anywhere where there's shame, releasing that shame. Now I'm feeling stuff in the heart, releasing that shame. Sometimes we create extra weight in that area. I know I get bloated sometimes there. It's a form of protection. So let the weight, the protection leave. Let the shame, the blame, the guilt, resentment, anger, rage leave. Show us that it's safe to let it go and who we are without this. Who am I without the shame? Who am I with the self-acceptance? Who am I with self-love? Healing anywhere we've rejected parts of ourselves, and instead we will allow ourselves to remember all parts of ourselves, bring them all together. So we are a whole and complete being. So breathe in more of that divine flow of love and light into your sacral stomach area. Like a washing machine when it gets filled with water, just see it all starting to circulate, cleanse, purify, balance, harmonize, integrate, activate, alchemize, transmute. See it shine like a sun, beautiful orange rays. Allowing your okay, forgive me, the internet just went out for a bit. Which happens when you reclaim your power and bring all your energy back into the present moment. Bring all that is best for you back with you into your being and let go of what wants to be released down into Mother Earth. Allow her to take all of that, alchemize it, transmute it, turn it into beautiful, potent soil that can create beautiful, potent nature, trees. And for the heart, maybe placing your hands on your heart and allowing, instead of it to be a hard wall of protection, allow it to be a malleable, a, um, a malleable wall, which allows the good to come in and just shields you from anything that's not best. I'm worthy, I'm deserving, I am good enough. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And so it is. So we'll count up from 0 to 5. At 5, you can open up your eyes and take a big breath and stretch. 1, 2, and when we get to 5, we will fully be remembered. Two, 3, 4, 5. Fully remembered, fully grounded, fully actualized. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And I'm going to invite Lisha to come and say some closing things before we conclude. Lisha.
Oh, thank you, Tarek. Ooh, I'm on here, just me. Isn't that beautiful, just to receive you? I want you to know that you're enough. It would be my honor, and I know Tarek's honor, to work with you, to share this program with you. If you feel led, if you feel called here by your soul, by your higher self, if you've been affirmed here, we want to invite you to just step further with us. It's not about the money that it is to invest. We've priced it extremely well. It is about you saying yes to increasing that value, yes to having the support, yes to transforming trauma, yes to understanding and healing physically, mentally, emotionally, and etherically, to reclaiming your vessel here on this plane. You deserve it. However you feel led, walk that way, go there. I just want to thank you for your time. I want to thank you for trusting us both. I want to just say yes, thank you for being here. And it was so beautiful to get to introduce myself to you if you're new to my community. I have a big gift for everybody in Unstoppable Confidence. I'm going to share the whole system of Unstoppable Confidence with you as a bonus. So you'll begin receiving that. And Love Habits, you'll begin to receive that. And so I don't want you to be like, oh, it's just a gift from me and a thank you from me to take your trauma transformation to the next level. Because I believe you're here with us because you are a trauma transformer. Because we're trauma transformers. And we're love creators. And that's all I have to say. I hope to see you on the inside. I hope to see you in the private sessions. And I'm excited to get started.
Beautiful, Lisha. What a beautiful co-creation, collaboration. It's amazing what happens when two beings come together with a good purpose. I'm curious to know if you guys want to share any insights from that hypnosis experience. And then I'll put my links for free gifts that I want to gift you guys. Lisha, please put yours. And I'll conclude with the song 7 Generations.
Beautiful. Tarek didn't tell me to put mine. So you guys, I think, are all in mine. If you're on that, I'll put Unstoppable Confidence on here.
Okay. Beautiful. All right. So thank you for showing up. Thank you for receiving. If you felt that this impacted you in any way, please share it with your audience. Day 3 of the challenge, to share the replay or share the targetbeauty.com/sex and money, which has the free module for integrating your shadow. Tag us, message us. If anyone does it right now, we'll just announce the winner right away. Denise, did you do day 2 yesterday? I know you
Denise
did.
did. Denise and Tammy, and let's see, there was 4 that for sure did it.
Okay.
I sent them to you
So
that
for
I've been
anyone,
following. If anyone else did it, let us know if you shared all 3 days.
yes, if you shared all 3 days, and then message Lisha on Instagram or Facebook now while I'm playing the video. And so maybe we can announce the winner now. Otherwise, we'll just email you guys later. But Lisha, is it a good time to share the music video?
Yeah, I'm
Perfect.
ready.
Okay, let's hope it doesn't glitch today. Okay, so this song, like I said, tons of prayers and intentions for the planet, for the 7 generations that came before us and that are coming after us. Enjoy. And the video has the divine masculine, feminine, light, dark. We put so much symbolism into it. Enjoy. Enjoy and receive the healings that are in this song and video. Oh, my browser has blocked my screen. And I had it all figured out in my mind. So let me try one more time. If I share screen.
Right. I'm gonna write everybody's names down, and we're just gonna pull them out of I don't know, out of my little tuning jar.
Cool. Yay. Let me know if this works, Lisha. Never mind. That is not going to work. I keep trying, which is the lesson. One of the lessons today, be resilient. So we're not playing the music video. We're concluding. We're choosing a winner. So please let us know if you guys are ready to share day 3. And let us know, what was your biggest takeaway from today's call? What was the thing what was your experience with that? Denise said all 3 already done.
Yeah.
Yes.
There was a couple people
Who did day 3 as well. Thank you so much, Courtney says. Such a blessing. You're very welcome, Courtney. Thank you, Tarek. Thank you, Lisha, for everything you both shared. You're very welcome, Star Traveler.
You're so welcome.
Sending love to both of you. Love 7 generations. Thanks, Denise. I keep smiling. Love the cloud. Many blessings, beautiful souls. Thank you, God. Bless you, Lisha. Thank you, Tarek. God bless you abundantly. Oh, I had a huge sneeze. Star Traveler shared all 3. I don't know if you have.
Okay, cool.
Okay, we added you.
Let us know. There's only 4 or 5, so you guys got a good chance of folding them up. Fold them up. There they go. Anybody else? Anybody else? Last chance to tell us if you shared. I got some text yesterday, but all the technology in front of me, I'm overwhelmed. So if you shared today, I have your name. If you shared the last 2 days, share today. Okay. Angel, did you share today too?
Angel said, I believe all 3.
Okay.
I shared all 3. Yes. Star Traveler said that. Angel, I'm not sure. Please let us know.
She did the other 2 days. So. For the highest good of all. Yeah. Yeah. Oh, it was divine. It was divine. Can you see?
Denise wins the full program. Yay!
She was calling it in, guys. She's
Oh,
manifesting that. She
it's on
sent in her
fire.
module, everything.
Thank you, Denise.
There you
Thank
go.
you, Denise, for being part of this and sharing and being such a supporter and believer of the work that we co-created.
And everybody,
Congratulations.
like you're all winners. You're all winners.
Yeah, I mean, everyone received so much during these 3 days, and we
Yeah.
just wanted to send an extra thank you and gift, special, yeah, an extra gift. So Denise, just email support@targetbb.com. Please let them know that you won. I will send them an email right now too. People are telling you congratulations. Looking forward to seeing how the program changes your life. So please, guys, join me, Lisha, Denise, and many others for the next weeks. Let the next 8 weeks be a game changer for the rest of our lives. Future generations, past generations, all space-time dimensions. It all starts in one moment. As Neil
In one
explained to
moment.
us, we're all connected, and there's so much power in us that we can impact so
Yeah.
much. One
So
decision.
if you've already said yes, let us know. Let us know if you've already said yes. If you have any questions, we'll take just a few seconds to answer any questions. If you have any questions about the program, you get it instantaneously. Okay, so you can start today. You can jump right in. You get access to our bonuses right away as well. Yeah.
And Lisha, I asked my team, I don't know if they've done it just now, but I was just feeling in case certain people weren't able to do the 333 weekly. I don't know how you feel about this, but I asked my team if they could stretch it.
Yeah, because weekly is a lot, and you usually get paid every 2 weeks.
Yeah.
At least I was like, at least every 2 weeks. I was
Yeah.
gonna say something, but then I was like, and you know what? I'm like even open to monthly,
That's what I
right?
asked
Because
them.
that's
Boom.
perfect. Because monthly is more like, so we're really
Yeah.
trusting you on that third month, but it should pay for itself. So yes, when you said weekly the first time, I was like, I've never heard that. That's a lot for weekly, right? It doesn't.
Okay. Might have
Yeah.
been a
So
glitch. So
it might have
it's
been a
on
glitch.
there as weekly right now, but please check on it in the next
So
little while. And
So,
it
Star
should change
Traveler,
to
I
monthly.
hope to see you in there. Yeah, if you've had 3 insightful healing dreams, then just imagine what we're going to create on the inside together. Imagine what we're going to create on the inside. So, hopefully, that extension of the 333 monthly will help really expand that. And yeah.
Yes. So if anyone's like, I want to do this, just need help with the payment plan, email us at support@targetbb.com and just let us know how we
Because
can
it's about
support.
creating abundance. We're going to create abundance within
Yeah.
this.
We want this program to pay itself off. We want it to be the best investment you've ever done in yourself. We want it to bless you financially, emotionally, spiritually, energetically. My intention is all the energy that's going towards the trauma, it goes towards your purpose, right? So all the energy we spend in and out of relationships, all the energy we spend being so hard on ourselves, all the energy we spend dark and depression, all the energy we spend trying to numb ourselves out, all the energy we spend doing all those things. Imagine taking all that power back and now letting, like what our guest earlier said, Faith said about how much energy it takes to create debt and how much energy it takes to become a millionaire. So
Same.
right? Same amount of energy. Let's just use it for the positive. So I remember talking to a friend the other day, and she's like, "Ooh, that's expensive," and I go, "It's expansive. It's all in our wording, right? It's going to expand." And then I remember her saying, "Oh, that's a lot of it's very expensive, and then it costs a lot." And then I remember reframing it, saying, "It's costing us so much not to do this work."
Yeah.
It is costing us so much not to do this work. So I can't wait to hear your amazing testimonials throughout the week. as you're going through the modules with your peers. I can't wait to hear about the money miracles that come through, the career miracles, the client manifestations, the emotional upgrades and feeling empowered and more sovereign, more liberated, and your inner child coming out and playing and having more fun and feeling more whole and complete. And the soulmate manifestations are taking your current relationships to the next level, relationship with your mom and dad getting better, and your everything, the divine Mother Earth. So good.
Yeah. Your partnership, calling in your divine partner, having more pleasure. Good job. Thanks, you guys, for making this possible. Thank you for being here. Like, we would have no work if it wasn't for us loving you and you being here. So
Yes.
thank you.
Yes. Denise says it already helped me just from module 1 with my life purpose and my soul tribe as well. Thank you, Denise. And so much more to come. 8-8 on it's 8-8. I see 8-8. It's 7-7-7. Happy manifestation. Lisha, I set the intention that everything we gave comes back to us infinite fold on all levels. And may we allow ourselves to receive today and be in our king queen energies and allow the universe to pamper us in all the ways that mean the most to us. Oh yeah, and I pulled 3 cards for us. I forgot.
Ooh.
The Magician came first.
Yes.
The Magician came first, and here we go. I just have little notes here. So, Magician, manifestation, resourcefulness, power, inspired action. Then I pulled the Moon card. Illusion, fear, anxiety, subconscious, intuition. So, releasing fear, repressed emotions. And then I pulled the Justice card, which is justice, fairness, truth, cause and effect, law. So anywhere we feel unfairness, lack of accountability, dishonesty. So there we go. Love, love,
Perfect.
love.
Love.
See
Thanks, you guys. We'll see you on the other side. Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.